Chester was just like postured.
This
like he had a thing.
is the Kopercrabb podcast.
I'm Chaney Crabb.
Navene Koperweis
My
up
name's
in this bitch.
Nick.
We got my boy Nick in the building.
It's just Nick.
Just Nick. NIC, by the way.
Yeah, no K.
NIC? How did you decide to do that?
I went to a school with like 5 different Nicks.
Oh, okay.
And there was like Nick with a K.
Right.
There was Nicholas.
Right.
There was Nikki. That was a boy at the time. I don't know what they are now. And then that was when Chase called himself Buddy. Hey!
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Already fucking ruffling feathers.
That's what we brought you in for.
To ruffle some fucking feathers.
All right, so Nick is my super old school homie from way back in the day.
So far back in the day.
We actually played Little League together.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, get that.
How old were you guys when you played Little League?
I don't know.
Young. Your dad,
9?
8, 9. Your dad sent me a photo the other day of you and Sean. You were in your Rangers uniform. I can't remember what Sean was in.
Damn.
I could pull the photo up for ultimate embarrassment.
You should.
Not opposed.
I'm trying to see the photo. Wait, so did Sean play Little League too?
He did, and then he played 1 season of Pop Warner.
Ooh.
What the fuck is Pop Warner?
That's a football.
Shane, how do you not know it? Do they not have that in Iowa?
I
Pop
mean, they
Warner?
might, but I wasn't like
They
a
might
football
have,
kid.
They might have called it something else. Oh,
Little
here it
League
is.
football.
I got it.
So Sean played football. That's super unsuspecting.
I'll show you guys first. And
Hold on, let me get the camera.
point fucking plus, you're rocking a sick pony.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been
shit.
long hair since back in the
Oh,
dirt.
that's adorable.
Damn.
Yo, flash it in the
you ready?
camera.
Yeah, you guys ready for that? Boom!
Oh, that's cute.
Get some of that.
That's
dude.
very cute. Your dad's got a lot of gems of you guys.
Yeah. So I thought he was gonna have. I thought you were gonna show a picture of like the whole team with you on.
No, I don't. My family never saved any of that stuff. Your
Yeah.
dad may have it, or your mom, or something, because they definitely did.
Probably my
the
mom.
bleacher photo, whatever.
Oh yeah, I had a bunch of those
Everybody
too.
line up.
Did you play baseball for more than 1 season?
No,
Okay, so you guys started and quit at the same time.
pretty much, yeah.
I played that shit for 13 years.
Really?
Yeah, I was a softball kid.
Through
CB softball.
through high school.
Yeah, I was on. I didn't go to JV and varsity, but I played for my little league.
I got you.
Wait, you
For
played
that
in high
time.
school, Chaney?
Yeah, I did.
You weren't about
Didn't know
to
that.
get any college scholarships off your fast pitch.
No, I wasn't trying to go that route by that
What did
time.
Wait, no,
you-
she wasn't pitcher.
What did you play?
I was a third baseman and a catcher.
Third base person.
Yes.
Oh.
Third base person.
That's
that was
right.
me.
So wait,
yeah, I sucked ass
the
at third
league-
base. I was a good catcher though.
The leagues were like male and female, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
remember on Rangers,
Yeah,
there was that one girl.
Angela.
I don't remember her name.
Well-
I remember her. I remember her. All right, because the second high school I went to the Arc and then to Delta, and she went to Delta, and she was always like, "Oh, the Rangers, same shit," but she was like a Peckerwood Nazi type.
What?
Yeah, she had changed a little bit in
Oh,
her
shit.
time.
Okay.
Santa,
interesting.
Santa
Wow.
Cruz.
I think her dad was like a coach or something like that.
That would make sense.
Because I didn't really think very much of it. You know, you're like a kid. But
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I do remember one day, like, I have the picture in my mind, like, looking at her and being like, well, if it can be boys and girls, how come there's only one girl?
Yeah.
Why isn't it like 50-50? What's
Fucking-
going on?
Fucking
Well-
nepotism.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I was on a boys and girls team, but it was t-ball.
Okay.
After that, it got segregated. Yeah.
But I don't know if we weren't really friends at that point.
No, we didn't kick it. It wasn't until I think like we had seen each other at shows.
I remember the day that we like became friends.
Tell me.
If you can believe that.
Tell me.
That's
Yeah.
adorable.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
I was on the bus, and I was like 14.
The Metro.
Yeah, 71.
The 71, yeah.
I was on 71, and like I
Is that
looked.
the one that goes by our old house? 71?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It goes right there.
It's the Soquel Avenue out to Freedom
Yep.
Boulevard styles.
And so
Yep.
Nick would take that home because he lived like midtown Anyway, we were both on the bus, you and Aaron, and you guys were kind of like, sort of making fun of me a little bit, like, because I was like 14, but when I was 14, I looked like I was 12. Like I did not hit puberty.
You hadn't had your growth spurt.
No,
yet.
like I didn't hit puberty till I was like 20 maybe or something like that.
Yeah. Little late bloomer.
Late bloomer. So you guys were kind of like, oh, you listen to metal, man? Because I was wearing, get this, I was wearing a Suicidal Tendencies jersey that I ordered.
Yeah.
I wish
And
you
you were
still
like-
had
This was
that.
like
Fuck.
right before Freedom, right?
Yeah,
That
it was Freedom
'cause
era, 'cause I loved that album.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember how much you loved that fucking Suey album.
Dude, because the drummer is sick on that album.
Yeah.
And the snare drum is super tight. I've said it before, like, at that point in my life, it's like, if the snare drum was like crank tight, I'm going to be a fan, period.
That high piccolo.
Yeah. So I loved that. And then you guys were kind of like, oh, you like Suicidal, you know? And we were just kind of talking. And I don't know if we knew that we were on the baseball team together at that point.
No, that was like a later realization, I think.
But,
once,
yeah.
Did you have regression going at that time?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And I might have
'Cause
given you a demo
You
tape.
definitely did.
Yeah.
And then it was like I went to the next regression show at the
Yeah.
Vets Hall basement or something.
And then at that point, that was our old first band with me and Chase and Sean.
Yeah, and who's the other guy? There's a picture of this band on your mom's fridge.
Yeah, so Nate Catella.
Oh,
Nate!
Nate! Holy fuck!
Wait, you know that guy too?
Yeah, he went to mountain school, dude.
Yeah.
Nate Catella. Holy.
So he
fuck.
was like a year or two older than us, but
Yeah.
like he had a beard since
And
he was like 10.
heshed out,
Yeah.
doing
So-
drugs.
Wait,
and
what?
shit.
You got to explain to people because when I moved to the Bay, I didn't know what a hesher was.
Like long hair, like
Someone
just
was
a
in here and I
dirthead,
was like-
metalhead, dude.
Somebody
Yeah,
was in
okay.
here and I was like, yeah, you know, like a hesher. And they were like, what's that? And they were from here.
Really?
I can't remember who it was.
I wonder if it's a Santa Cruz term because I'd
Nah.
never
No,
heard
dude.
that shit.
Because Leo
Never.
used to say it all the time.
There's
They're
a
from.
fucking,
Okay.
There's a movie with what's his face, Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Mm-hmm.
called Hesher, where he just plays this like pothead shithead
so
dude
it's a
Okay.
driving
national.
around in a van with a skateboard, like I don't
Okay.
know.
Living
Yeah.
the dream,
Yeah.
baby.
Fucking,
That sounds really sick.
too many labels on this here, but you're just fucking. You love metal and drugs and
Yeah, okay.
partying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
You're a person.
Okay, so he was. He looked like. Because it was all these little short baby face guys and then big tall dude
Yeah,
with beard.
Sasquatch.
And so like if we ever took like a band photo, you know, like my mom would take it like
Yeah.
with her digital camera or something, it would look like Uncle taking the kids to
Yeah.
like a show or something.
No, it straight up does. Like, I thought that guy was in his 30s.
Yeah.
From the
No,
picture
he was like
on your
1
fridge.
year older
He's
older
like-
than us.
That's insane.
the dad who's
And he loved AFI. He loved AFI.
awkward.
I liked AFI a lot, but I didn't like
I'm
the
fucking-
I didn't like the legit AFI.
Yeah. Like
I've never been a huge.
the popular arena rock AFI.
I'm more. Wait, I was more. What's the name of the album? Fuck.
Black Sails.
Black
and-
Sails
No,
is
no,
good.
no, no. I
She's even
didn't
later
like
than
that. I
She's
was
singing
later
the
than
sorrow.
that.
So
I
you
am.
like the arena rock.
But I'm the
version.
transition. What? It's the album that has like the leaving song.
Sing
it was
the
their
sorrow.
Sing the
Sing the
sorrow.
sorrow.
Sing the sorrow.
Sing the sorrow.
I will still listen to that shit. I never really liked
Hey.
Black Sails,
Black
but I never
Sails is
liked
awesome.
anything after
it's
that
like
either.
anthemic, and I think their early
Mhm.
albums. I'm not gonna diss them. Like
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
I listened to them.
Yeah.
I went to their shows at Palookaville and shit. They killed
Fuck
it.
yeah. Old venue.
Dude,
that
I
was
mean-
here, by the way.
Yeah.
So do you
'cause
know
they're-
where Old School Shoes is?
Oh yeah.
So on that street,
Cold Stone Creamery.
yeah,
Mhm.
on that street you had Palookaville, which was I saw so many good shows there.
I
Suicidal,
can't even-
fucking.
Like Cool
What-
Keith a bunch of times.
What building was Palookaville though?
It was like in between Old School Shoes and right.
Yeah,
It was right
yeah,
there,
yeah.
like where that tiki lounge is.
Oh
That-
fuck yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
Exactly.
And I sold my AFI ticket.
That
'Cause
was
you remember
like-
that?
Yeah.
I sold it for $100.
Because they would fucking sell out.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Some chick was like,
And
"Are
this
you
is
going to the show?" And I was like, "Yeah."
pre-internet sales. Shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'll give you $100 for your ticket right now." And I was
Sold.
like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" All like, because to us, $100, I was like, "I am fucking
Boom.
balling."
I'm
dude.
gonna go buy
No shit.
20 Dying Fetus CDs.
Well, aren't they from here? AFI is from the Bay.
like Oakland, East
Alameda.
Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense.
The dude who got me to go to hardcore shows for the first time,
Yeah.
he worked for my dad, and he was in that band Second Coming.
Oh,
know that band?
what the
Yeah.
fuck?
You know that band?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like an
OBHC.
old school, OBHC hardcore band from back in the day, and he was in the band. Like built Gilman.
No
like his name is
shit.
Don. He lives in Portland now,
Huh.
and he was Krishna.
What?
He was
'cause,
Krishna.
Yeah, Second Coming was like a Krishna
Yeah.
kind of band.
So
okay.
like back in the
Full
day,
on.
I don't know if I've ever even said this on the
I
show.
mean, if it's
but
back in the day, let's give a reference. Like what, late 90s?
late '90s.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like probably right before we started hanging out.
Sure.
I was probably 14, right around the same time. So he worked for my dad, and he was like there was a bunch of hardcore dudes who worked for my dad. It was like weird because they got into Krishna, so they met him.
Through the temple. And
Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
makes
they were
sense.
like, "Oh, we want to work at the veg deli." My dad used to run a vegetarian meat company.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Fuck yeah. It was like pre-tofurkey. It was bomb. Like better, the sausages were better than the tofurkey
Damn.
or field roast, any of it.
They got straight up sued.
Well, he always
by
talks about
Tofurkey.
the
yeah.
mayonnaise. You said that the
You remember the
mayonnaise
mayonnaise?
is bomb.
Yeah.
Because that was like
Yeah.
a short
This is
time.
like Follow Your Heart had their shit, and then your dad had his shit.
All
and
this
it was
flavored
always
Yeah.
mayonnaise. It was so
Hook
good.
it up, Mark, with some of that good meat.
Damn.
And that shit was
'Cause back in the-
causing intestinal cancer, basically. So rough.
Because back in the day,
That's
like
not
a
why
lot
they
of people
got
were
sued, though,
vegetarian and
right?
vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they got sued because they had a chicken version, and it was too much like tofurkey. And I think the guy who worked there like actually did steal the recipe, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Krishnas are weird, dude.
Well, how would he have gotten the recipe from tofurkey though? Was he like?
I don't know.
He was in the upper echelon.
Yeah.
of
Yeah, I
fake
wonder if
meat
he
No.
worked
game.
at
Okay,
Tofurkey.
you know what?
Or with
It was
someone
like
who
that.
ran Tofurkey. I
was
kind
like
of
that.
remember this story a little bit. Your dad talking about it. I think.
We'll have to get him in here to talk about
I know. I mean,
You
Mark.
haven't had your dad.
it. I don't
I know.
know.
We
We've
gotta
been-
have Mark on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So,
He's got a
what was
lot
I
of good
saying?
stories.
Oh, yeah.
Guru.
Okay, so back in the early 2000s, everyone was vegetarian, vegan. We were vegan
Yeah.
for a hella long time. And some people were Hare Krishna. Like, at shows, there used to be books. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
I miss that, dude. Fucking books.
Talk about woke. That
That's
shit was real woke.
way
Yeah.
before.
Well, I mean,
Woke before woke.
Dude,
what was that called? They would set up a.
a fucking...
Like an info table.
Yeah.
no, you had what was it called? A distro.
Yeah, distro.
Distro.
Yeah, because people would sell CDs and shit. Like some hardcore bands still do that shit. They'll take CDs.
I
Or,
love
Or
me a distro.
let's trade.
yeah, that's fucking sick.
That was
I mean,
so much better. I think the internet probably killed all that.
Oh, fucking A. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Goddamn.
everybody
Internet.
says that, like, tape trading, and then magazines killed tape trading.
yeah, something always
And then
kills something
some-
else.
Video killed, whatever. Who cares?
What was the magazine that
Onward
you
to the
used
future.
to Maximum Rock and Roll?
Yeah.
You used to get that, right?
I used to do reviews for them, and Heart Attack magazine, which was out of Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Like show reviews or album reviews? What-
Album reviews, like, what was it? Heart Attack was run by Ebullition Records, bigger kind of like early 90s emo, screamo, hardcore, giant warehouse distro, like we're talking.
Okay.
And they had a mail order and like I think 4 times a year they did a magazine or something.
Oh, sick.
You'd go down there and like they'd have a bin and you just take records and
In Santa Barbara?
yeah. And then like I think write them on paper.
Yeah.
This is
like,
like
mail it
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Like before internet got huge, you
So
know?
that
Totally.
era that I'm talking about, it's like... So I think we're just old enough to be old school.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
though?
I'll take it.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
like...
No, I
that was
think
like-
I
yeah.
think that my age would be the cutoff, which I don't know how old you are. Are you the same age as Navene?
35. We're
Yeah,
around,
he's like
Around
a
the
year
same
older.
age.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of talking about this. Like, I still come from a super DIY era. Like, I passed out flyers and did all of that shit. I think we are that I might be the cutoff to be
Yeah.
considered old school.
I just mean, like, it was like in the hardcore Bay Area era.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the cocadry.
Oh.
You know, like it shut down.
I'm
like,
only laughing because there's another accoutrement to the cocadry. of the lusty lady.
Yeah, so the
R.I.P.
cocadree was, I don't even know how many side tangents we're on at this point.
We're on
The cocadree,
Doesn't matter.
I'll get back to what I was talking about
Yeah.
Dawn, but the cocadree was in like the strip club jerk booth part of
Broadway.
Yeah,
the
San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a lot of matinee shows there.
Yeah.
And I only went there because of Dawn. So he would take me to shows there, and everyone would be like, I remember Sammy the Mick, dude?
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P., dude.
R.I.P. Gloom 1.
Dude, I was super bummed when he died.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's crazy. He's the one who
All bets
ran
off.
into the fire
Yeah.
and tried to save his housemates.
Right.
So
That was in LA, right?
I remember, yeah,
Yeah.
when I met him, he was making fun of Dawn. Like, why are you hanging out with 12-year-olds? The fuck is wrong with you? Because Dawn took me and my brother to shows.
Sure.
So he worked. So that was, yeah, I went to.
Why, Don?
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing hanging out with fucking 12-year-olds, dude? And Dawn was like, oh, they're my boss's kids.
Yeah, nice excuse.
And I just thought that shit was so cool, dude.
Of course.
I was like, what? Because I was into like Sepultura and like I hadn't heard Dying Fetus at that point, but I was into like Earth Crisis.
Yeah.
And like
Strife.
I had got into hardcore at that point. And then
25 to life.
yeah, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a hardcore band." I'm like, "What? That's sick." And he's like, "Yeah, we're playing with Sworn Vengeance." And so I went to like a Sworn Vengeance show, and I was like, "This is insane."
Yeah.
Like they don't even want to be big. Like they don't even care. You know, I thought that was so sick. Just like this is so underground that it's like we don't even give a shit if it's we know it's not going to be big ever, you know?
Right,
and that was the first time I ever saw anything like that. And so yeah, he worked for my dad and he took me to hardcore shows and shit. And
That's
it's fucking sick.
So
That's how I got introduced to all the
That
whole
is
thing.
like, I don't know if you want to say serendipitous or coincidental or just
Or is
fucking pretty cool.
Or
is
It's
it?
like
Yeah.
small world style stuff.
Yeah. Because I remember there was like a few hardcore dudes that worked there. There was like some dude from New York who showed me like Shelter and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and
Because they were all
108,
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. Everyone, you have to have like a person who inducts you into metal.
totally.
Like my friend's older sister and her now husband are the people who got me into all of that shit when I was a kid. You have to have someone.
Totally.
Took me to shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then around that time, that's when we met. And I remember, I think you and Aaron were kind of like, what's up with this little guy
Yeah,
wearing it?
we were kooks.
Yeah, just
for
being
sure.
funny. And then I
trying our best.
think we exchanged. I might not have had no. Yeah, I gave you my home phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
it was on like
it was
Donkey
on,
Kong.
dude. We hung out like every day after that.
It's funny though,
was sick.
like with those associations, like in a small town,
Mhm.
especially, but like where it would be, you know, there's not enough people for you not to notice that person that
Yeah.
you were on
Totally.
a little league team with, or like that somebody in the same small town you live in is associated with punk or metal, that it's
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Be
up.
friends.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Absolutely. Yeah.
friends. Yeah, I'm sure it was like that in Iowa.
Fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, there's so many people that I just know through the scene. Really, in Iowa, it's so small, the metal scene, that you kind of know everyone in the state.
Sure.
So it's the same. It's
Well,
that idea,
and
but
within that same thing of like, the scene is so small that everybody is literally driving from all parts of the state because they heard about a show
Totally.
happening.
yeah, I mean, it's the same as like Northern California.
Yeah,
You guys
it
did that
was-
here, right? You would drive to Sacramento and
Fuck
shit
yes.
Yeah,
all
or
the time.
down south, like there was a bunch of, I don't know, it might still be like that now, but there was Salinas had shows, which is
Jim
like a
Dandies, dude.
Jim
Mhm.
Dandies. Like I saw fucking
25 to life there.
really, I didn't
With
go
like
to that.
Oh, shit.
15 people.
Yeah, I saw like, I don't know, let's see, Undying. Remember that band?
Yeah.
I saw fucking Undying there. I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. I can't
18
remember.
Visions, Throwdown, like
So those
Damn.
bands,
Yeah.
the OC bands, were big in Santa Cruz.
yeah, that
So
makes
they
sense.
would play.
It's the next closest place. It's, you know, it's kind of out of state because you have to drive a long way to get up here, but it's the That makes sense.
It's on the path.
Right.
I don't even know if bands like that toured though. It was like they'd just drive up to play the show.
Yeah.
And be hella
yeah.
late.
There were like, so you haven't had Manuel on. Have you talked about Manuel on the show? Shout out to Manuel.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Morales.
He told me that he listened to the show, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
You should,
Because we do jujitsu together.
You got to have him on.
Oh yeah.
We should have Manuel on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in First Blood and
Alcatraz.
Right, right. He actually knows
Sec-
some people that I know from Iowa who are in First Blood too. It's fucking like the whole. It's weird.
yeah, because
It's all connected.
It really is, man.
met through Carl. So the dude, I briefly mentioned this, the dude who started First Blood was in Sworn Vengeance.
Right.
All right.
That was like, I guess they weren't like local, but at that time, like bands didn't really tour. Like Hoods was the only band that went on tour. And I think Sworn Vengeance went on like one tour. But anyway, they were like the big kind of hometown hardcore metalcore band or whatever. And Carl was in that band. And that's how I sort of met him and everybody.
Well,
A word.
So
And
Manuel grew up in King City, and then like I think I met him. He just would come to shows in Santa Cruz, like drive from fucking King City to Santa Cruz.
I don't even know.
I don't know where
that is.
that's at. Yeah.
You know where Soledad is?
Yeah,
It's
like,
outside of
Yes.
Soledad.
Okay.
so it's like
Just
a small like farming
well, and
town
there
or something.
was a boys and girls club in San Luis Obispo that would do hardcore shows, and there's fucking nothing there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nothing. And it was like we're saying just a layover, a place to like make a couple $100
Totally.
and
Totally,
keep
yeah.
going essentially. So you
I
know,
miss that shit.
back in the day.
Yeah.
This is the old guy episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
Has
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he.
We're getting up
we're
there,
in
dude.
it now.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in.
You gotta go
Fuck.
catch the early bird special.
That's what we do, though. We do early bird.
Yeah, we started eating out
It's
early.
You gotta.
It's
'Cause
whatever. We
beat
beat
the
the
rush.
crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, man. I know. We're always like, there's no one here.
But
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
it's
Corona
4:30.
thing, I'm like loving it because
Yeah.
there's no rush.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
do anything you want, and there's never a line. There's never anybody in your
No
way.
traffic.
Everybody's complaining, and it's literally.
I don't
like,
get it,
There was nobody on the freeway driving down here today.
dude. Going
Which
to
is
work,
insane.
it's just I
Spooky.
get in, I go straight to work and straight home. Well,
Yeah.
I've only worked like twice since the Corona thing hit, but
It'll happen.
then I was thinking, oh, I guess I just want to live in a smaller town, right?
It's pretty nice.
That's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
Because
It
it's
is.
so sick.
I could just like this might be a little long-winded, but
We got time.
a little history. I have lived in Reno for the past 9 years.
Yeah, hold on.
and-
So let's give the listeners.
Oh,
all
yeah,
about-
I
so
don't know. Here's-
Nick was in this band Gehenna.
the infamous Gehenna.
So he was a huge fan of them when we were kids.
Yeah, and they
I never really got into them.
they had asked me to come and play with them, and I wasn't doing anything in California, so I moved to Reno to play with them and ended up sticking with them for 2.5, 3 years, maybe longer. I don't know. It's a little hazy.
You
But,
did tours and all that.
tours and recordings and writing music with them, and it was a lot of fun.
Were you on a couple of albums?
I like recorded with them for one album, but
Cool.
then it ended up getting split up into like 6-7 inches or something.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how.
So that's why you moved to Reno.
that's why
That's
I
what you're
moved to
saying.
Reno, and then I ended up just staying there, like buying a house, doing stuff, and I have just moved back to the Bay Area within the last 6 months. So with that being said, doing that and going from like kind of a more rural, less populated state in general, but even more so a town with less people in it, and then coming back to the Bay Area, it's almost like before all this shit popped off, things were you could cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah, it's
Something weird seemed like it was gonna happen, and everybody was already in this like weird panic and fervor. Almost, I don't know. It's like they're in their own world
I know, and that's
perpetually,
Yeah.
and now that's erased, and
I
there's
know.
like people are respecting each other's personal space only out of what they think is necessity for, you know, like, I gotta stay clean or cleanly and not touch anybody else. But it's perfect.
Have you noticed?
Away from me, man.
Have you
Quit
noticed that
breathing on
people
my
are
neck.
also like more friendly? When I go places or when you're out walking, people will say hello, go out of their way to say hello to you and kind of like,
hi.
Yeah. And it's almost like people are coming out of their weird introverted shells that they were in before, because you don't, people here especially, I've noticed in California, do not like really acknowledge each other unless you're on a country road. Like up in the mountains, people do the old country hey thing.
Hey, you gotta lift like 2 fingers off the steering wheel.
Yeah, you have to. It's the country thing. Or you get the full hand.
I don't know why. Like, I really don't know why, but that's what type of guy I am, you know?
I am too.
Maybe because I sort of did grow up in the country.
Santa.
What the fuck? Slag out.
Yeah.
Well,
but
hey,
like, you know what I mean? That shit annoys me when people are,
you know,
they don't say hi, or like if I say hi to someone and they think I'm like weird or whatever, I'm just like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know what's it trips me out is like everybody nowadays is so concerned with like, we're creating community and we're doing this and we're doing all these things that are like you know, like group positive forward to you know, create security in numbers sort of thing. But that same mentality of like, don't talk to me, I'm in a rush. It's kind of like you're adding to the issue. You are the problem.
I know. And I think to be like, you know, out like a hippie kind of, the hippie part of me wants to be like, yeah, we needed this. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
We needed a reset, man.
Me too.
I'm not saying I want people to like die or anything, but like,
a reset.
I think here we did need something to make people slow down a little bit and stop.
Or stop and think.
Yeah, and like for me personally, I really needed it because it's like I was like go, you know, working all the time, fucking just doing all this. I gotta get all this shit done, and it's like as soon as the quarantine or whatever hit, it's like I just felt like such a load lifted off of me. You know,
I totally agree.
Just like, oh, cool. I'm just going to chill for a few days.
Yeah.
And I've just been working on the van. Coco Bolo. What up?
Coco Bolo. The van is coming along as well.
Great.
I'm
Nick
seriously
said the floors
amazed.
look legit, dude. He's an actual
I mean, I've got to say, I've got to give it up to you. I was doubtful because you have a history of like doing things and not going through it and doing it like 100% the right way. And I was really sketched out about you doing it with our van.
I'll tell you something funny.
Because it's expensive.
It's a baby.
I'll tell you something funny about what you just said. These sound panels, they're up with brads. Like
Brad nails.
Like if
Don't
you
touch them.
Breathe on it the wrong way,
move.
fucking things fall
I know.
down.
I can't go anywhere near
like I put one brad in each corner and then just hung it on there. And for those who don't work construction, those are like little ass fucking finishing nails.
Teeny guys.
Oh, this whole time I just thought I was clumsy. I didn't know that it was because they're put up like on. Yeah,
it's so janky.
And they fall off all the time.
And I think part of it's because at work, you know, we have to do such a fine job that at home I'm just like, fuck this, dude. I don't care.
I was working with 18 gauge brad nails just the other day.
Yeah, that's what they're up with. It's hilarious.
You gotta like,
yeah,
because if you hit them,
get your little countersink out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, with the van though, I like wanted it to be legit or somewhat legit.
It looks like it's well on its way.
So
I totally agree.
What I'm doing with the van is I'm acting like I'm building it for someone. Because then it's like, all right, I
feel like you're acting like you're building it for me. Because if I was out there, like I just like things done really well.
Yeah,
like you know, if we're gonna do it, especially to the van, I wanted it done the best way because I don't want to fuck up something we spent so much money on.
So we spent so much money on that van, and like I'm not gonna lie, dude. When I was like tearing all the seats out and all the interior out, I was like, oh no, what am I doing?
What are you getting
it was
yourself
scary.
And then Chaney was like, dude, what like. I know you want to have a camper van and stuff, but it's like we actually paid a lot of money for that van, and it was nice. It was like totally a legit 15 passenger van. So I was kind of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But once I finished the floor, I was like,
dude, it looks
Coco Bolo
looks
is born.
incredible. I mean, Seriously, I'm all
Coco
about
is
Coco
risen.
Bolo. I can't believe you. Yeah, Coco has risen.
Dude,
I'm really proud of you. Period.
Thank
Like
you.
I'm very proud
Thank
of
It
you.
you.
I was
looks
trying to
good.
make it.
It
And
looks amazing.
The best part of this is that when he's done and you're walking around in that thing, shoes off,
Oh, I know.
feeling all cozy,
Chilling up in there.
and
Yeah.
you get that big old splinter in the bottom of your foot. You
Be
know
like,
exactly who to blame. This guy.
All right.
No,
So
now
I'm
that
gonna put
I'm-
down an area rug, dude.
It's
Fuck that.
amazing. Oh yeah.
You could get all techie with it and do hydronics in the floor.
I was thinking that,
Yep,
dude.
yep.
Because look,
What is
how
hydronics?
much of a space do
like
you need?
heated floor.
Okay.
With
Oh,
water.
that would be.
How much of a space do you need to do that? Do you know?
It's just like a small little hose.
Because, dude, I left.
We
The
could do
floor
that.
is actually, I'd say 3/8 above.
I would say you'd want like a half-inch
yeah.
minimum.
Well, I have to redo it. Then I have to.
You got the padding though. It's already kind of.
That's what I'm saying. It's got the insulation. So that's another thing that took me forever. It's like double insulated, the floor.
Mhm.
The walls are gonna be. It's gonna be so legit, dude. Because
It
my goal
already
is
looks
You're talking
incredible.
up the van now on the podcast for the Kopercrabb experience. When you guys are on tour, people are gonna want to see this shit.
That's true.
we're gonna fucking cut podcasts in that bitch.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be solar fucking
definitely.
power.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Hey,
So-
don't give away all the secrets.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Have
sick.
to walk
I'm
through and
I'm
shit.
excited for the next like couple of weeks
So,
because
yeah,
it'll
that's-
really start coming
I was
together now. I
really
think.
trying to bust at. Like I had this whole week off, so I was really trying to bust ass to get the floor done and get everything torn out. So, because I'm gonna start using that for work too. So
Yeah.
I was thinking this is way
It-
better,
It makes sense.
dude. We have a workshop now.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick started working with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Drapery guru.
yeah. So
Shout out
he's
to
part of the fam.
Trusted
You know what I mean?
professionals.
But as
for all
soon
your
as-
drapery needs.
As soon as Nick got hired, it was economic collapse. So we haven't really.
I know you hadn't been working for very long,
No,
had you?
like 3 weeks, and that was. I mean, it's like 3 steady weeks, and now
Yeah.
it's on two
it's-
2 to 3 days a week. But
Yeah.
you know, we all have our own hobbies and creative
Yeah.
endeavors, which
That's right.
it's perfect timing to focus.
It
on
hasn't
these
really
sort of
affected
things.
Totally,
Chaney,
man.
so that's been
No,
good
I'm still
for
working.
us. So,
But yeah,
I
it's
mean,
chill.
we're all doers, you know.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's like
well, that was my other thought behind making the van
No
into
issue.
a sick
Yeah.
little thing. It's like, hey, if it's really economic collapse, well, then we got somewhere to live,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, we'll dip.
We got somewhere to live. There's power in there and
It's true.
shit. You know, that's my plan. So
it makes sense.
It's really
it's
coming
the
along.
fucking apocalypse mobile, just in case.
Apocalypse fan.
But I'm naming it
Coco
Bolo.
Bolo.
Yeah.
Coco Bolo is
You
the
gotta-
name.
Dude.
Figure out how to like transport more gasoline on that thing.
Okay, I was thinking
Mm.
about that today. I already got it.
What is it?
I already got it.
What
dude.
is it?
Okay, I was underneath the van because I was kind of scoping out where if I needed to be aware of anything where I'm drilling in the floor and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I was scoping it out and I was like, dude, there's a bunch of fucking room down here. And I've seen people, they'll put their water tank down there.
Sure.
Well, I'm thinking, get a fucking secondary aluminum gas tank,
Uh-huh.
fucking fill that bitch, and mount it underneath next to the primary gas tank. And then it's like we have probably at least 10, 15 gallons chilling.
Perfect.
You know? I just got to figure out a way to like have it so it's secure so people can't steal all that reserve.
Yeah. Or even know that it's there.
I mean, if
Yeah.
shit, yeah. And that's that's another thing that I like about it. It's like from the outside, I don't want it to look like a camper van, you know, which it doesn't. It just
No,
looks
it
like
doesn't.
a regular old
I guess
van.
if we would have, what's the word I'm looking for? Like height in the ceiling, that it would. You could
Yeah.
kind of tell.
I was thinking
Okay.
about doing that, but it's like, honestly, once I got everything out and I got that floor in there, I was like, it's pretty sick. And yeah, maybe I can't stand
It
up,
is
but
sick.
whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
Congrats.
Because it still like a car, you know, you can zip around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course.
Totally.
But then you're also adding weight onto it.
Exactly.
But you're taking weight out with the bench seats.
I'm
mean,
not
give
even
and
kidding
take.
you. Those
They
fucking
weigh a lot.
dude, you can feel that it's so much lighter already without those bench seats in there. Like, I'm thinking 150 pounds each. That's really what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I bet.
I want to look it up because
Easily.
it's like so heavy that I could hardly get them out.
You
I
know
mean,
what?
by myself, it was crazy.
You were talking earlier about getting the bench seat welded, having Sean weld you in a frame. You should have Sean weld you in like a full-size roof rack for that fucker.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you
have to
can
do
just
that.
get
Smart.
5 gallons of gas lined up the top.
I have to do that.
That seems like it might be safer than putting it along the bottom.
Yeah.
Because then you can't hit it.
Mount the solar panels on there.
Sean made an insane roof rack for his truck.
Really? Oh, your dad showed me a picture of that. Actually.
Oh, really?
Hell of professional.
Because Sean and I have been talking about the whole like mobile home. I don't know what it's called, but you know what it's.
I believe
van life.
The official term is modular living.
Modular living, baby.
Yeah.
Off grid.
Yeah.
And he has an Honda Element, and like we've been watching videos of like dudes who build out their Element into like a little home.
Yeah.
And there's this fucking little sink in there and shit.
Well, they like that off the grid culture is huge in Nevada, and like specifically with Jeeps and shit. And so like you'll see those fold out platforms on the top of like roof racks on Jeeps that basically just fit a tent.
Yeah,
you know
I've seen those. I've seen those.
So there'll be like a little ladder going to the ground, and you just.
Dude, we could do that on ours, and it's like second story.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
The same kind of like West Fella pop up.
I've seen those. Those are super sick.
The old VW van style.
Yeah, so I've seen people build out the VWs. I've seen all that, but I'm trying to keep my shit on the cheap. I've only spent $400 so far.
That's killer.
And I have the shit to do the walls, so that's $400 for the floor. Walls,
are you gonna do like
finish
wainscoting on the wall style, the same
hardwood? So I got these birch 1/4-inch panels, and I'm just gonna glue the insulation. I don't know if this is legit or not, but this is the way I'm gonna do it because it'll come out way better for the install. I'm gonna glue these insulation panels to the back of that birch after I cut it out, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna stain them like either light, like a white, or like a really, really light gray. So it's kind of contrasted against the Coco Bolo.
Black and gray, black and gray.
Yeah.
Because the van was already gray on the inside.
Sure.
So I'm kind of
going with variations on a theme.
I got a lot of ideas up here. 'Cause sometimes I'll just sit in there and I'll just, I'll just be like,
all the puzzle pieces start falling together. He's got a beautiful mind.
No, seriously, like, for the first couple days, half the time, that's what I was doing, just sitting there going, all right, I could do this here, this over here. But I think I got the best plan right now. But it changes every day.
Yeah, of course.
But it's starting to only change a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a
like finite,
work in progress.
Totally.
Rough draft.
Because each step that you do, you can kind of sit in there and go, all right, this looks pretty cool. How are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
And today, dude, I took it to do my laundry. And, dude, I did a fucking workout in there. It was sick, dude.
What did you do? What was your workout?
You doing burpees?
No,
I'm thinking push-ups for sure.
It was all push-ups, dude. I did I used that app, and there was like a push-up routine. You know, I did like decline push-ups, put my foot up on the bench.
Sure.
Did fucking flat ones, and then I did incline push-ups like with my hands in between the van, in between the two front seats.
You could do some dips. Did you do dips?
Fuck, you could do dips. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I'm talking about, dude. I'm already reaping the benefits of having this. You know, I'm fucking in here working out, dude. And that's So like that's another thing, because I'm like, well, even if we don't live in it, which we probably won't. Obviously, we have a place to live.
Well, realistically, you are, you save money on hotel bullshit.
Okay, yeah, for tour, it's going to be legit.
We live in a van a lot.
So that was sort of another stipulation, is I sort of had to make, because I really wanted it to be, at first I was thinking, let me just deck this thing out for Chaney and I to live in it. But then I was like, all right, well, it has to also convert for 5 people for tour. Right. And I think I've got the plan. It's going to be fine. It can go back and forth, no problem. But I don't even know.
At least you have options. You know what I mean? There
exactly.
You go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I started to think of like how it would come into play in normal life, right? It's like, oh, we want to go to a show up in the city, right? Okay, cool. Just fucking sleep in the van afterwards.
Hell yeah.
Hang out all late.
We've done that in your car.
Yeah.
Like a very small car.
Yeah. So that sucks. That's why we never do that.
Yeah.
But
so
another thing is, it's like
get cuddle time.
That's right.
Cuddle time, and it's a hella sick area. So our friends on tour, I'm like, yeah, let's go fucking chill in our van for a minute. And they're like, oh, we don't want to chill in a van. I'm like, trust me, it's gonna be sick. You never chilled in Coco Bolo before.
Yeah, it's like you don't know.
Once you see this van, you'll change your mind.
But yeah, that's like all I talk about or think about. And I'm
but
online
it's cool.
looking at little like
different conversion kits and such.
That or just like weird little parts that I might need, you know, and
Yeah.
but I discovered that
the accoutrement.
everything. I discovered that San Lorenzo lumber is sick.
Yeah.
It's like better than Home Depot.
I thought that is that Drew? No, Drew's Tools is the
And
place that we were
Drew's
talking about
Tools.
the other day.
Shout out
Drew's
to
Tools.
Drew's Yule's
Dude.
Tools.
That place fucking
tongue
rules. I
twister.
got a circular saw there for $18 because I was like, I don't have a circular saw.
You can't beat it.
Dude, it's so sick.
I have
But
no
they're not
idea
open. You
how
have to
much a
call and
circular
tell them
saw
what you're
would
looking
cost.
for, and they like roll it out on a cart because of
Right.
coronavirus.
That's perfect though.
I know. I was like, I need a circular saw, and I showed up, and he just rolled out like 5 of
Yeah,
them.
he's
He was
all
like,
take your pick. I'm
Things
Drew.
things are kind of better this way. People are
It's better.
rolling out
Yeah,
a
it's
cart
better,
of shit
straight
for you to
and
look
they're like
at.
on it.
I
Like,
saw that same exact thing happen the other day at Pete's Coffee. Like, people are just waiting outside the door, like, kind of, hey, what's up? And then, like, somebody comes, here is your coffee. You
Yeah,
know, it's
I
like,
know.
whoa.
and since
It's
it's
like being a lord. I
since
can't.
it's a pure since it's a purely like we're gonna serve you the coffee and then go back inside real quick.
Yeah.
There's no wasted time.
No, little to no
know?
interaction. I love it.
Because they're not back there
Thank you.
flirting, and you know how the
Yeah,
baristas are always like, "Oh my god," you know, like
How do you say this name?
I know, flirting and just being all stupid with each other, and it's like, God damn it, you know.
It's true.
And now they're just like all scared. Here you go. Right, 'cause- so I've been obviously way preoccupied this whole week with the van. So we've been eating out because I'm just like, fuck it, let's just get takeout. Yeah. And dude,
That's not directly attributed to you working on the van.
I'm trying to make it sound.
He's like, I cook all the food around
All
here.
this
That's
van
not
work.
true.
All this
Yeah.
van work, man. Woo!
Hey, I mean,
No, Chaney's out there holding it down because you don't have a fucking job, bud. Role reversal.
I know.
That's what we're
I
all
can
about around here.
I can
Gender
dig it.
equality.
I can dig that. Dude. Trust me on that one.
In these trying times,
Yeah.
know out there people that
We're all about
Kopercrabb
gender.
experience is holding it down.
We're holding it down out here. So I don't know. Anyway, we've been getting a lot of takeout food, mainly just because we want to be gluttonous. Let's just be real.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Treat
why.
yourself.
Yeah. So
Because
like,
I feel like I'm on fucking vacation.
I know. I'm
and,
like,
like
let's
Yes.
fucking. Other night, I was straight up like,
Staycation.
yeah.
Jenny's like, "Fuck, I'm so hungry," and I was like, "Yeah, me too." Like, we both been working all day. We're like, it's like, let's get all
Did you
of
see
garden
that?
to
Now
go,
it's like-
dude.
it was
How do you
so
get
good.
endless breadsticks to go? Though?
You
We
don't.
only got 6 breadsticks.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
You
they
gotta-
come in this fucking little foil bag,
Oh, it keeps
and it
them
just
all
Hot
piping.
pouch.
it's.
We also get
so
Alfredo
good.
dipping sauce. I don't know if you fuck with that very
That
much, but
sounds
It was-
decadent.
truly.
So good.
Truly.
Dude, I
Mm.
was like, because I hadn't even eaten all, like I've just only been eating at night, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one
One meal a day shit
Yeah.
on vacation. That's
There's
what I
no-
do.
I'm like,
I know that's your thing too.
it's big time. And
Really?
almost even fasting. Like I'll go just on coffee. And
Me too.
it's like I enjoy it, coffee and weed, and just like
Yeah,
Dude.
maybe a little snack,
Yeah.
some nuts.
Yeah.
I've been down on my nut meats.
totally.
Yeah. Oh,
Big
nut meats
time.
are bomb. Yeah.
So good.
doing that.
I don't like to eat until like 5,
I might do a
Truly.
beer. A beer kind of holds me up around.
but
That's
I'm
not
always like that.
health conscious.
If I'm
but-
working, like I'll have like a decent lunch.
Oh, really?
And then like maybe a light dinner.
Yeah.
I like to
I always
do
go heavy
small
dinner.
lunch, big. That's what I'm gonna start trying to keep to doing.
Once you're aware of it, though, you know, it's like you beat yourself up when you miss a day or something like that, of like being gluttonous or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
And you look at it like a treat. Like I have a soda
Yeah.
usually a
Root
day.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today it was root beer.
That's bomb.
Usually a cherry Coke.
Ooh. Cherry Coke is good, especially if you just have Coke with grenadine in it. How do you feel about that?
Even better.
Yeah.
Roy
I
Rogers.
agree.
From the fountain. Exactly.
Oh, from the fountain.
See, and that makes a big difference. Fountain Coke versus canned Coke. Fuck.
Fountain Coke is so much better.
Straight
Fountain
up.
Pepsi as well.
I-
Just not a
I gotta
Pepsi guy.
stop you there.
You're not a Pepsi
I'm
guy.
out of this combo now.
Really? Oh, dude. They both are just so good. I like both of them. I'm
Yeah.
not one or the other.
My mom was a Pepsi maniac.
Oh, okay.
And so I just don't. It was always there, and it was like, you know, growing up being a
Dude.
in a sugar-free household, right?
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
kind of like That's the only sugar there is outside of like brown sugar by the handful.
Did you get like hippie cereal and shit?
Yeah, like grape nuts, the worst.
Puffed wheat.
Yeah.
Wait, you got all of that stuff, but you had Pepsi in your house?
It was weird.
That's
weird
really
dynamic.
weird.
It-
My parents.
my grandma kind of like ran the food in the household.
Oh, okay.
Outside of getting into gory details, I had a shitty childhood with grape nuts and
But you had
no
grape
sugar
nuts.
diet and Pepsi.
Yeah,
Lots of Pepsi.
that's really weird. My parents only drank Diet Mountain Dew, which is fucking disgusting.
Whoa.
I don't like.
That
I know.
is weird.
Isn't that?
Whoa.
That's
a
weird.
taste.
Oh, they
Like
drank Diet
aspartame
Pepsi a little
and-
bit.
Aspartame and citrus.
It's disgusting.
Number
I
one
don't
favorite soda
like
for me, Diet Coke.
Really?
All day. Crack that.
You love
Ugh.
that fake sugar taste.
I don't know. I think maybe just when I got into like working out back in the day, I like would drink protein shakes and all that stuff. So I just got used to that flavor.
Right.
You know?
I
And
can't.
then it's like,
fuck
oh,
with
I'm going
it.
to fucking drink a Diet Coke. I remember when I was like 24 or something. If you put lime in there, it's like super.
It goes. I've heard that
It's just
before.
super good, man.
I
Diet Coke with lime in it.
Here
Treat.
on one step, we're talking about the downfall of civilization with coronavirus and how we're happy about it, and then we shifted straight into like Coca-Cola.
Pop.
Yeah. Soda pop.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't fuck with fake sugar. I do not like it at all.
I can't. Like it's such a distinct taste to
It-
me that it's like.
It's metallic
Yeah.
to me, and I can taste it in anything it's in. I can
Gum,
detect it.
Gum,
Yeah.
Like
yes.
most gum doesn't have sugar in it.
Yeah,
because
because
it's
you don't
like-
want to be chewing on sugar. It's
Exactly.
going to rot your
Mm-hmm.
teeth.
Yeah.
But then the alternative is like this thing that's proven to give you cancer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe I should stop
I
drinking.
have a chew in my lip as I'm saying this. So.
I like, yeah.
Bye bye teeth.
I mean, I think I'm sort of the
And
same
lip.
thing. It's like I just don't. It's not like I'm drinking 10 Diet Cokes a day. I'll have, I don't know, maybe. I can't even
One.
remember the last time I had one.
Right.
I'm just not
It's
a huge fan
Oh,
of
no, I had
pop.
one last night.
I don't fuck with pop really.
I had one last night.
You
But
did
before
have one
that,
last night.
because we got Chili's last night.
Oh,
It was
what'd
so
you get?
good.
What'd you get?
Dude,
I got Crispers.
I got
Whispers.
the Santa Fe burger.
Was it Texy Mexi?
Dude, yeah, it's so good. It is avocados, chilies, so it's spicy.
Right,
like
like
It was
like
super
hatched
spicy.
chili.
hatch chili,
Gotta be
and
a
then it's
hatch.
got this kind of creamy sauce they put on there.
Some chipotle.
Santa Fe
yeah,
sauce.
right. It's
Dude.
corn sauce.
Oh my god, it is like no diss, but we go to local burger places. I'm not gonna name names. This is so much better. Chili's burger. It's
It
just
was a lot better.
Let me just
dominates,
let me drop
dude.
one name, and if it's better, I might go to Chili's.
Okay.
all right.
Is it better than Carpo's?
Carpo's burger.
Yeah.
I've never had a Carpo's burger.
Carpo's burger might be really good.
It's bomb.
Carpo's grilled cheese is off the fucking
It's the
chain.
best grilled cheese,
And
I
it's
love
just a
salad bar.
plain grilled
Yeah.
cheese.
For those who don't know, right?
Yeah.
Carpo's is like a small chain in Santa Cruz of I don't know. It's weird. Like in
What kind of food are they?
It's
like American?
all Americana.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like a diner or anything. It's more like
no.
You
no idea.
you
It's like
order in
fancy
line.
fast food. They have like a salad buffet, like an old school where you
It's
can
so
get
good.
macaroni salad
you,
and
like,
potato salad.
dress your own burger, kind of like what's that fucking Fuddruckers style?
All the
Yeah.
fixins are out, which is awesome because you can just
You know, it kind of reminds me of a place that old people would go to after
it's
church.
totally an old people spot.
Yeah, old people
For
lunch
sure.
like
spot.
Caro's style.
Yeah, I don't know what
So,
that is,
yeah.
but
I don't know if
probably.
it's. I've never had
Early bird
I
special
should
shit.
get
Yeah.
a burger from there.
It's fucking so good
Yeah, I
still to
bet.
this day. I mean, I remember going like when I was a kid, and it's like, and still I got one maybe 4 or 5 years ago
Yeah.
in town visiting, and was still like, mwah.
You know where has the best? You know what I'm
I
gonna say.
was just gonna bring that up. How you always say that.
Unsuspecting best burger.
I'm waiting.
Zachary's. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Zachary's is a breakfast spot here. It's my favorite spot. It's our favorite.
I would say it's the best
It's the best
breakfast
fucking
spot
breakfast
I've
spot.
been to.
Better than Cliff.
It's better than. Cliff.
It's better than Cliff.
It's better than. Cliff.
Cliff has better pancakes specifically, but Zachary's is better all around.
Dude, Zachary's
I mean, the
is
tofu
I'll take it.
off the
scramble.
hook. Yeah, the tofu there. I don't know. Cliff's tofu is really good. We used to get that.
Zachary's is better
I
though.
love that.
Because
Zachary's tofu is really good too.
but at
I
Cliff
get that
Cafe
still
they
sometimes,
leave it
even though I'm
like
not vegetarian.
they leave it like cubed.
I like
At Cliff.
that though. And you
Ugh.
can see like the turmeric on there and
Yeah.
shit like
It's really
it.
good.
Yeah.
And they have shredded hash browns, which I'm a fan of. But
Yep.
dude, Zachary's burger is really fucking good.
Isn't this? It's odd too. I was having this conversation with Nina the other night of like, she was heckling me about being obsessed with sandwiches.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And like, I haven't even broken into my burger obsession with you of like finding a
I
good
love
burger
burgers.
there
Love burgers.
and like holding that spot down. You know?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Smokehouse? In,
In
Berkeley.
Yeah. My
Off
dad
the
used to
telegraph.
live near there.
Oh my god!
But I was
dude.
like vegan and stuff. I never
But they
went
had
there.
a veggie burger too.
Oh yeah, I got that once.
That
But it was
place
like a garden
so
burger
good, and
type
it's
thing.
shut down now. Such a bummer.
Yeah.
And there's all these like $15 burger shops in Oakland that
That's the thing.
suck.
I that's the thing. I factor price into the burger.
Yeah, like
You
and
have
the,
to.
And the Chili's situation, it's $10
that's not bad
with the
At all.
fries.
Not bad at
It's
all.
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
It's legit.
Now here's the ultimate burger question.
That's the name of the episode.
The ultimate burger question. How's the aftermath?
Oh, I'm good to go. I don't
no
get.
blowouts.
I don't get that. I have iron stomach.
And I say that because that's why I stopped eating at Chili's.
Yeah.
Every time I'd eat there, it'd be a fucking nightmare.
No, I'm good to go. But that I'm kind of not your average.
You got that
I'm
good digestive
I'm good to
tract
go,
or
dude.
what?
Like I can eat a lot of stuff that people say that's gonna fuck them up or whatever. You know, this, that, the other thing, Indian food and all that. It's like maybe because I ate a lot of Indian
I
food.
feel
when
like
I was
that's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a stereotype. Indian food is not like
It
that.
doesn't.
Food
No.
doesn't fuck me up unless there's something wrong with it and I get like food poisoning.
Sure.
Other than
sure.
that, I'm fine.
I don't know. I think like maybe the over saturation of oils and stuff that
It's oily.
fucks me up.
But I will say that like I hadn't eaten anything all day, so it's like my body was probably like,
Just like
we need like get it to where it needs to go. Like this guy's
quickly.
gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that is the thing when you haven't eaten in like 20 hours and you whatever you eat, your body's gonna. This is total bro science, which I love.
get on it.
Your body's gonna just be like, okay, we need to shuttle those calories like into this guy's arm.
Yeah,
or whatever.
no,
I do
totally.
believe that.
I mean, it's gotta be true, right?
But
it
that
seems
that
like
gets
it.
into like I think what we started on this is like how often you eat, your eating habits, your patterns,
Yeah.
what you're putting into your body versus when you're putting it into your body, and like knowing, okay, I'm gonna work super hard all day. I might have
Yeah.
something with my coffee in the morning, and then at come lunchtime, like carb up, protein up, because you know you're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Et
Yeah,
cetera,
and if
et
you do
cetera.
a physical job, you know, that's you're gonna want some fuel, I guess. But
Well, that's like where the country man breakfast comes from. The like old timer country guy breakfast, because they would go out and work on the farm all day, so they needed a hearty meal to start the day off.
It
so
only makes sense.
that's
Yeah,
why it's the
like
old
biscuits
timer,
and
dude.
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
Biscuits and all that. Let me see that. This is a Kopercrabb first.
Ooh.
oh, Navene's
Dun dun dun.
weed debut.
The influencer.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
The
I smoke
influencer
weed all the time, though,
influencing
but-
all these kids out there on the internet.
Smoking
All
weed
these
is good.
death metal kids.
Smoke
If,
weed. I
if
don't
you
care.
smoke weed, you can play drums like Navene.
there you go.
I swear to
Dang.
fucking God.
The secret.
But
Well,
it's got to be Kopercrabb weed.
we need
Yeah.
we need
Only
Copper
purchase
Crab brand
through-
weed. Only purchased through our website. Coppercrab
not
podcast.com.
CBD though. Fuck CBD. It's got to be real weed.
That fucking straight knock your dick in the dirt weed.
Yeah. High
But
potency.
I don't really play drums stoned very often. But I kind of started because I've been smoking more.
I
so.
enjoy eating weed food and playing music.
Mm.
And I mean that live. Like
Like at a show.
Yeah, practicing and shit, like it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
But then I think as far as like anxiety and shit goes, being in front of a crowd of people and like playing, like the eating it factor calms me down.
Really?
more than-
Think
That's incredible.
yeah.
eating edibles only gives me anxiety.
Really?
I've had some bad calls with Chaney eating weed.
Yeah, no, Navena's,
Do
I
tell.
will like start shaking and freaking out, and I'll have to ask Navene just to hold me or hug me. I've blacked
it's
out.
Like reverse
Yeah.
style.
So now
It's
I'm
horrible.
like, if I see Chaney running around with some little candy or something, like, no.
Seriously, I blacked out going through TSA at the Denver airport.
Whoa.
Luckily, my friend was there with me, and she was standing over me. But I'd eaten a brownie. I have no idea how many milligrams were in it, and I blacked out because I'm already anxious about flying. So if I'm already in a high anxiety situation, I'm so anxious on edibles.
I think we told the story, right? Yeah, already.
What story?
Of you drinking all those. We bought all those shots and we like had them, snuck them through. And then you took like a Xanax.
Yeah, we were flying to Europe, and I took a Xanax, and I probably did 7 like Sneakamins.
Yeah.
Those little tiny dollar shots.
So we went to Bevmo.
Sneakamin.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Because I was like, let's fucking rage on the airplane. You know, we're going to Europe. Yeah, baby. And like, so we bought, I don't know, I think I got like 5 and Chaney got 5 or something like that. Anyway, I looked into the bag. Oh, no, here's the thing. If they're in a Ziploc bag, they can't say anything to you.
Really?
So you can just roll through there, no questions asked.
A quart.
Yeah. So we had Ziploc bags that were just full of those. And it was like, whatever, this is legit.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do it.
Fuck you, beat it.
Exactly. So we didn't even sneak them. It was just legit. And then I look in the bag and like Chaney's are all gone. And I'm like, oh dear God, no. And
I had taken a Xanax.
So, like, were you already blasted on Xanax and we're like, this is a good idea?
I think
Do you remember?
I think not really. I think I started them both at the same time. Like I popped a Xanax and then immediately kind of started. Yeah.
So I've been with Chaney long enough to know.
See the signs.
Yeah.
And
I was
which
like,
is great.
All right,
It's
dude.
good to have
Navene's
all right,
my
dude, I came through as such a pro. I fucking I grabbed because I'm like, she's definitely gonna puke. Like that's happening. Like she's gonna puke.
Get the bag ready.
So I had fucking all the bags and shit. She would puke. I'd be like, I'd wrap it up, run over to the bathroom, toss it in the trash. Like no puke anywhere. Nobody even knew anything happened. But I was tripping, dude. I was like,
of course,
because I was just thinking about
you're on high stress.
Yeah, and it ruined.
And we were in a
because
plane.
I was trying to have fun, and then it sort of ruined my thing.
I know.
I was like, fuck. Cause
poor guy.
I know.
It's not
like you didn't get to go to Europe.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
then have
For
the
a
craziest
month
time.
and party for a month straight.
And I gained like 15 pounds.
I did
but
too.
Anyway,
but I was barfing on myself the entire flight. That's all that I remember is throwing up one time and having like a bag right here.
No,
and then I woke up an hour, 45 minutes before we got to England.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a paranoid guy, so I was like, oh man, what if she dies?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. You know?
Janis Joplin.
And I was like,
experience
this
here.
is so horrible. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I was like, as long as I live, I was like, we don't do, like, I'm sitting here casually talking about doing Xanax and stuff, but it's like, we don't ever do that.
Yeah.
So like, I just, somebody gave it to me on tour. Like, this sounds like such bullshit, but it's not. Somebody gave me on tour and I had it for like a year. I was just like, here, I'm having this just in case of emergency.
It's gone bad here.
Maybe it did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was an adverse effect.
So Chaney was like, I'm going on a 12-hour flight. Fuck that. I'm taking that thing. Sure. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Fair play.
I get super anxious on planes.
Yeah,
like I will
completely
freak out.
I'm the same way.
But I was just like, man, just please let this be, like, let this pass. You know, I was just tripping, man. I was hella tripping.
How long was your flight? Like 20 hours or what?
I think 12.
After a while, she like went to sleep, and I was just, you know, every few seconds, like, you know, like putting my, like, you know, making sure. Because I don't know anything about that stuff.
No one noticed
Yeah.
anything going on except
know.
for the sketchball dude checking to see if his girlfriend's alive on the fucking international flight.
Because I'm sure you can't die from taking one Xanax. It probably can't.
I mean, I bet you can.
You could literally Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Choke,
well, that wasn't gonna
choke
happen.
on your own puke.
Yeah.
and
So
shit.
it was
Yeah.
it kind of chilled out, and I was just kind of like.
I mean, I was ODing. That's why you puke, right?
Yep,
It's
yep.
because you
Or like
poisoned
that's
your
like
system.
Alcohol poisoning. Right?
So I was, you know, I was like, well, fuck it, and then she calmed down, and then I just chilled, drank my shots.
On our next flight, though,
Finally.
when we were flying, you finally
Well,
got
when
to
I looked
chill.
over and they were all gone, I was like, oh, that's not good, dude. You know, because it's like, I can do 5 shots.
But you've
But-
been there with me before. I'm
like, if Chaney does 5 shots, that's not good.
Flying's a
And
weird,
flying.
Flying's a weird thing though. Like I've been in that exact scenario, like to the drugging and drinking to the point of being sick on a flight because I can't deal with my fucking flight anxiety or being caged in on this weird thing you can't control.
I don't like it.
I've had.
I mean,
have,
I know.
have
I
you
hate
ever
it
played
too.
a fucking show on a boat?
Yes.
That
No, I
shit
have. Wait, we did. I did.
sucks.
Yeah, I
Wait,
have.
what boat
Fuck
did we-
The one in
Yeah.
France.
Oh, that was sick.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a lot more high tech. Than
It didn't really move.
I played on like a weird party barge going around like the L.A. Marina by the Queen Mary, overpacked, like equipment almost spilling off this fucking
Oh,
thing,
that's
like
sick.
handles of liquor flying around everywhere, people falling off the boat.
Yeah,
like,
how do I book a show like that? That's what I want.
it was a fucking
That's what I wanna
nightmare, man.
That doesn't sound fun.
Well,
Well, if you have a
at
life
all.
fest, fuck it. It'll be all right.
I don't know.
You might
I don't
freeze
want to
to
be
death.
stuck out in the fucking ocean.
And
You don't
back-
know what's gonna
and then
eat you.
backline the whole thing too.
Oh my god.
Damn.
So did it feel like it was gonna tip
it
over? the whole
was
time?
like multiple times.
Whose
I just
boat was
ended up- It was called like the Rocket Boat where they did this. It was like their thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got back to port and they completely shorted us. We're like, I think the
On money?
Yeah, like didn't pay us at all. And the owner of the boat was like, it's like a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Like, don't fucking
You guys-
quote
Fuck you,
AC/DC
dude.
at me,
Fuck
you piece
you.
of shit.
Oh man.
Fucking, we drove.
It's like, let me
from
show
the
you
Bay
what's up.
area
I'm
to
gonna
LA
fucking-
right now, and we have no gas money.
And
Throw 'em
it's
off
a
the fucking
fucking
boat.
Seriously.
show. I can't believe that a boat show promoter would also stiff you on that.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Fucking dicks.
You didn't? Did you guys like beat his ass or?
Something happened. We got money, and that was it. You know.
It always kind of happens that way.
I was like going on like a 7-hour anxiety attack just from the whole boat experience. So I think I
yeah.
had to like go just hide.
Yeah, I don't like being on a boat or the air, any of that. I'm a
I don't
land
like-
type
I'm
person.
a land. I don't even like going on rides like
I
at
like
the
going-
boardwalk.
no
I'm
roller
not.
coasters.
I mean, I will, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not me having fun. It's me like doing stuff because other people want to do it. You know,
Being polite.
like my
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
yeah,
Alright,
and
I'll go
not
on
being
it.
a bitch. Sometimes I'll stand to the side. I mean,
Yeah. No.
'Cause
yeah,
that
I
is
have a
weird when
fear
you're
of
at
all
like
things.
a theme park or whatever, and there's like one person who like won't go on rides.
Yeah.
and they're kind of
because they're always kind of like a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
They're the not fun person.
I'll just be on the bench.
yeah, that's a loser thing to do.
I don't know. You can. Yeah,
Only a loser will
Yeah.
do that.
I paid to get in the park, but I will not go on any of these rides.
that's what's sick
Yeah.
about the boardwalk, dude. There's no admission. You just go in.
Just get you a $10 tall boy and kick it.
You can
Dude.
BYOB at the fucking boardwalk.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I love that about the boardwalk.
You can just
that's what we
bring
do.
in a backpack and like nobody says shit.
Nowadays, you go down there and just play laser tag by yourself.
I guess they're probably definitely shut down, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be
can
the
only
first
imagine.
place you're getting Corona in Santa Cruz.
Right. Yeah, like a kid's ball house.
Yeah, it's disgusting,
Jump on in.
Those things are nasty.
dude. The
But,
most germs, never cleaned, never.
Yeah.
We're fucking rambling. So what are we gonna talk
I don't
about?
know. Who
You
cares?
wanna talk about metal nerdness?
Oh yeah. Well, I
Oh,
think
you
what
had
we
some
should talk
points.
about is that you're the first vocalist of Flesh Rot.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick started the band with me.
Nick
But hold
started
on. I gotta go
Flesh
get
Rot.
some more whiskey. So
Jesus
you guys can start
Alright.
if you want.
We'll riff it.
Yeah, will you get me a little whiskey too?
Sure.
A little nippa.
You have one.
I've got like 3 beverages and snacks and weed. We're set.
Yeah. So you started Flesh Rot.
With Navene, yeah.
I knew this would be a problem. I was like, I should sit on the other sides because you'll get up. Okay, so tell us about it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was just out of boredom or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Navene was, I think, for a long time seemed like he was only playing drums, and then started picking up the guitar and figuring out like he could play Dying Fetus riffs and
Yeah.
shit. And Sean was also playing music as well. They were living with their mom, I think, always playing music together, basically, like kind of feeding off of each other. And
because Sean was also in Animosity, which I feel like a lot of people...
The first bass player for Animosity.
Yeah. There wasn't a bass player before Sean in Animosity?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah?
Was there?
Nick Lazaro.
Oh, this is about to fall off.
Nick Lazaro.
But he... So...
You good?
I forgot about that.
All right, so...
Animosity history.
Yeah. Sean was in Animosity. So... Sean,
they started Animosity. I'm not original.
You're not? You're a fucking scab?
Yeah.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
they had the band with Frank, Leo, Nick was the guy who started it. He was on bass.
Okay.
And then they had a different drummer.
Originator kicked out.
No, he quit.
Oh, he quit.
So he was like, they met me at Gilman. And I just got my license like that week. And I don't even remember what show it was. But anyway, me and Sean went to the show. And in my Jetta. Remember the Jetta?
Gold Jetta.
Dude, 87 Jetta, baby.
Damn.
$700.
Never forget.
So we rolled
good
up
deal.
there in the Jetta. It was like the first show that I drove to. And I was like, this is sick. You know, like we can go to shows. And
finally.
Yeah, like fuck it. It's so sick. And then that's how I met them. And they were like, our drummer sucks. We're going to kick him out.
Who was the drummer?
It was just a kid like from their high school.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't, I don't think he.
You don't even know who he...
I don't know what he's doing now.
gotcha.
I have no idea. He didn't like join other bands or, I think he was like more of an indie guy. But it was just like, oh, he could play drums, get him, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
And then, so I was like, yeah, I'm all into fucking death metal and shit. And like at the time, they weren't really trying to be a death metal band. They were more of like a hardcore metalcore thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was all into Dying Fetus and shit, you know. And I was like, I went to my car and I was like playing them Dying Fetus and I was like air drumming to it. And they're like, this guy's sick, you know.
You passed the test.
And
You
then
got
like
the job.
the next day, the next
sick
day,
trap.
I was like, they were like, we'll jam.
But when you air drum, you can tell that you're
Dude, I
really,
knew all
really good.
every fucking
Yeah.
fill. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're exactly miming the song.
So I
you're
showed
playing
up
the song.
and we jammed and they gave me their. Okay, I already had their demo, and I was way jealous because it was way sicker than Regression. So I was like,
oh, Regression and Animosity overlapped.
They did.
Wow,
Because
okay.
I knew Leo because his dad, get this, worked in the same building as my dad.
No.
So they knew each other.
shit.
So we had actually met like years before that, but Leo was like super punk when he was a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like into hardcore and death metal and stuff. So when we met, he was like had a mohawk and stuff, and I was just like, this guy sucks. You know, like I'm not friends with that guy. But then I saw him later on at Gilman,
Right.
and he was like more hardcore looking, and
Sure,
I was like,
sure.
maybe this guy's not so bad. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
like,
No, he looks cool now.
and he was all in the scene, and everybody would be like, look at this kid, and point to me and be like, he's like a more metal version of Leo. Like I remember that. You know,
Oh, the
Why? 'Cause-
comparison came out.
yeah, like before we were even friends.
Huh.
Like we would just be the two youngest people there.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
You know, so they would kind of like make fun of me and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, cool," huh? You know. Anyway, that's how I got into Animosity. The next day or next week, I went to Frank's and we jammed, and it was like, dude, this guy, it's on. It was
Yeah.
like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
And it felt great.
Oh, it was so sick. I was like, I'm in the
Magic.
sickest band, dude. And
Yeah.
then I started like writing stuff for them and blah blah blah, and kind of more.
Awesome.
And then
So-
Nick was like, dude, I'm gonna play guitar. And I was like, well, who's going to play bass? And they were like, dude, Sean. Because Sean would always come hang.
Yeah.
He was always there. He was always with me. So it was like, let's get him. Like, he can play bass, right? You know, and it was like, yeah, fuck it. And so that was the deal.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then we were like, let's start a more death metal band.
I
That's why we started Flesh Rot. Because we were like, let's...
see it. It's like hazy for me in that era because at a certain point, like whatever was going on with my family, like I was kind of like back and forth in and out of Santa Cruz before I had initially made the final move to Oakland from Santa Cruz.
This was before that, though.
Yeah,
For sure.
it was, but
Couple,
like,
a year or two at least.
I think at least like 2 years. So it was
Because when did you move? Well, how old were you?
I was like 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So
So it was right around that time.
yeah, like you, I think you had already done hoods.
Yeah.
You had
I
already been
joined
in hoods.
hoods when I was like maybe 16 or 17.
So maybe you were still actively in hoods.
I was until probably I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Because like I wanted to tour. I didn't go to high school, so I was like, I want to fucking tour. I don't give a shit about because Animosity was like, yeah, we're gonna go on tour when we're out of high school, and I was
Right.
like, fuck high school. I don't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go on tour.
I'm out.
I'm out. Hoods needs a drummer. I can do it. Peace. So that's why I would do that. But then we were obviously really close friends, and we hung out all the time and loved death metal.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's start like a old school death metal.
It was
that's
kind of
what the
like
idea
we were
was.
just like drive around aimlessly or just cruise around tagging on shit, doing dumb shit, and like listening to Suffocation and Early Dying Fetus up until
Cannibals,
like
all the good
fucking
stuff.
Crush the Opposition over and over and over again. And yeah, Cannibal, fucking Tomb of the Mutilated.
Yeah.
And The Bleeding. They think they know who I am.
Dude, the bleeding rips.
I don't know.
Face down.
So yeah, all the
Dead
good,
on the ground.
all the
Find me
good old school
before another is found. I come alive in the darkness.
origin in there.
Oh, never forget. And yeah, Chase was in regression. I had gone to elementary school with Chase at Mountain Elementary, along with Nate from regression as well. And we just jammed like all the time at Chase's parents' house.
Because he had like a room where he could practice. So it was like,
His parents'
it's
house is
on.
actually like 2 blocks over from where we live now.
No shit.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's
really close.
after. That's the house after the one.
Oh, they
the
moved.
one that
okay.
it was out old Radio Gulch Road,
Oh shit.
Rodeo
Okay.
Gulch,
Yeah.
and it was like up.
I was
and then
gonna
they
say
had-
old San Jose, but that was
I'm calling it old Rodeo Gulch. That's weird.
because
But
it's like old San Jose.
Yeah.
And it's,
so we would just jam. I was gonna play everything though, and then
brought Chase in to just like practice essentially because we
'cause-
had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
it was just fun.
And I think we'd just like smoke dirt weed and fucking hang out.
So now we do the same thing, but just smoke really good weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see.
has changed.
I don't want.
I would like
anything
to see
change.
what your dirt weed looked like in California back in the day, because there's no way that it was as shitty as the weed that I
It probably
smoked.
wasn't like the ditch,
There was.
the
I
ditch
remember
weed
it was
you would
nugs,
get.
but they
Really?
were small nugs. They weren't like these big.
Yeah, it was like beasters, what we would call mids or beasters. I wonder.
Beasters.
The thing
Yeah.
is, when I
like
met
that. That's
you,
good.
you would have all these different names, and to me, it's like just weed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know
Yeah.
about like I remember dirt weed, but that was only when we went to Texas or like went on tour.
Dirt weed is
that
like
brick-
Reggie.
That brick weed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
brick weed.
And then we would listen to like 3-6, and they would talk about
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
dirt weed,
Mhm.
Bobby Brown.
the Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Not that
Bin Laden
Not
weed.
that Benny Bin Laden.
Or like, Dro. Did you guys ever
Dro.
say Dro?
Hydro. Yeah.
Hydro,
Kush.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're all the.
We got the hydro.
Mhm.
We
Just-
got that light green. We got that Bobby Brown.
We got the Bin Laden weed.
Indeed.
That's 3 different types of weed, man.
All rolled into one.
I was telling you on that mixtape, that
Yeah.
really sick
Rubber band
rubber band business too.
Mhm.
He talks about Bin Laden weed. He throws it back. Dude.
Yeah, you
and it's
gotta.
like, oh shit, that's sick.
When in doubt, fall back on your classic hits. Juicy
So
J.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
good.
mixtape is so fucking good.
It goes. It stands the test of time. Have you guys
Love
done
that
that
fucking-
with like old punk and hardcore you used to listen to? Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
started this off with
Yep.
kind of talking about like AFI and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff stands the test of time. Some stuff is garbage.
Yeah.
I like didn't touch music for many years after like leaving Gehenna and like starting my career in carpentry. Like didn't even listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Put it
kind
out
of
of your
like
mind.
yeah,
NPR
seriously.
only.
Yeah, or like fucking conspiracy bullshit.
I'm just.
No, I'm serious as a heart attack for real. Like NPR, coast to coast podcast styles, and then coming back into like, okay, I want to play music again, doing that what's up with current bands,
Yeah.
shit like that, and then going, okay, what about these bands I used to love and I used to listen to on the regs, and like I'd say a good 45% of them do not stand the test of time.
Some of them, though, it's just like, okay, this is legit. You know, some of it's legit.
A lot of the shit that I feel is legit, I've listened to the entire time. Like, I kind of dropped off the bullshit. No, I listened to a lot of stuff that I listened to when I was a teenager still. But yeah, there's some shit that just does not work anymore.
What about, though, also, too, I found coming back into, like, being open to listening to new bands, that
that's where I'm at.
Too many new bands that, like, with the access of the internet and all social media, where it's hard to even keep track of.
It's really hard.
And that they're all derivative of a better band.
I know.
Or something where it'd be like, I like this band, but I would rather listen to
the band they're trying to sound like.
Morbid Angel.
Well, I feel like now a lot of bands take specific, like, riffs from a band that they look up to. Yeah. And their whole band is based around the riff or like the style, that it's all totally derivative.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of it is. There are a lot of really fucking sick bands that are still coming out, but a large portion of it are just bands that kind of sound like everyone else. They sound too much like their influences.
Totally.
Which I think it's good to have influence, because, you know, they say that people like, what is it, 90% of something that's 90% the same as what they're used to and 10% different. So you kind of want to hear
threshold to how much people can tolerate for it being like completely different
from anything they've heard. So I think that's important, but some bands just don't have like the new twist on the old thing.
Sure. I mean, with my current band, Astral Butcher.
Don't like them on Facebook.
At Bandcamp.
Bandcamp only.
One-stop shop.
I like that.
Yeah. We don't.
No, I've been repping
around.
the sticker, dude. You know, I've been getting the word out.
There it is.
I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but it's right there.
It's on there. Somebody will see it eventually.
Sick. We'll link it.
Like, we draw heavily from like Celtic Frost and Bathory, and there has at a certain point or a starting point, there has to be a jump off of like, you're gonna have a comparison to what you want to be. Like, I'm sure with Entheos, you guys are probably like some of that animosity vibe mixed in there, but with a newer, more progressed version.
That was pretty much the idea, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
That was literally it. Like,
like, I mean, there's no new ideas, but there is new ideas coming out of old ideas.
Absolutely.
There's a sweet spot, man.
How do you filter
I think
it?
so.
I don't know. There's
You know
a
what I
sweet
mean?
spot, like and it's really hard to find it, you know, for sure. But
It's difficult.
Not even to say that I don't know if we have, or, you know, but
yeah. I think we're starting to, but yeah, it's hard to find that sweet spot. That's like
it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that being like, you know, when you listen to a band and like kind of what you're saying, you can just sort of tell what they're a fan of.
Sure.
I think like on the opposite end of the spectrum, like if a person is kind of maybe going through something where they, for me personally, like I was writing metal at a time when I didn't listen to like any metal at all. And it's like that starts to get a little weird.
That's kind of funny. Like I was thinking about that driving down here, about stuff we could talk about, and that specifically, like your obsession with Yes and Frank Zappa during like the Flesh Rot times.
Yeah.
And it being like, we weren't reinventing the wheel by any means with Flesh Rot, but like a lot of those different progressions came out of those progressive rock and whatever you want to call it, dad rock or
at that
prog
point though,
rock.
it's like I'm still listening to like a shitload of death metal.
Yeah.
But then a little bit of the other stuff. Whereas I think at a certain time in my life, it's gone too far to where it's like, it's just not even, there's no anchor to the genre that I'm doing. You know, whereas recently I've been listening to like a shitload of metal again, like all the old stuff I used to like.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm actively looking for new bands all the time, and I find them.
On the other
so
hand,
it's had that effect.
I
Like,
feel,
okay, this is sick. I can add it all together. You know,
but I
kinda,
feel like a lot of the stuff, like if you listen to stuff that you've written, it's very indicative of what you're listening to.
yeah,
Because if you, with the talking about Zappa and yes, while you were writing Flesh Rot, I think that that's really obvious in the Flesh Rot material. And then the first Entheos material, I think, is actually reflective of you listening to a lot of drum and bass and being super into the electronic elements of music.
Your experience in Animals as Leaders.
Yeah.
And the tail end of that being a lot more electronic, or you using,
Totally.
you know, weird beat
So-
pads
Yeah.
and shit.
but I think
You put it, it's almost like through a metal filter.
yeah,
So it's interesting that you've done it that way, but I get what you're saying, that
I'm
sometimes
saying
it can feel like not rooted in anything.
It's important to keep the like what's the word? The like I got this perfect word that I'm gonna say. The benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to keep that benchmark of like, let me compare this to fucking Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, my music's no longer evil. It's not metal anymore, and Cannibal is, and so let's make it more evil. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Sure.
let's
Totally.
keep that like
Totally.
essence there no matter what. And that's why I think some stuff more than others has had, I want to make sure that it's evil. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to
more
go
of a-
too far into
a lasting influence on your output.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something I've been thinking about lately. And listening to more evil stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, metal. That's
Yes.
the sickest.
I forgot about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, I think I've spent so many years of my life. You know, I always love metal. I'm never gonna be like, oh, metal sucks or whatever. But it's like, just not really paying attention to it or learning about newer bands or even keeping up with.
Well, that's,
You know what I mean? And
It's like that's
it's
point plus to the beginning of this conversation just about this, where it's like I fell out of it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, right.
then
Right.
like one of those things where like coming back and seeing it for what it's evolved into and how people receive it now, it's crazy.
I know, and it's. I think there's a lot of people who like metal now more than ever. Like,
I think so too. I think it's bigger than it's ever been.
Like I think
in America
in the last
specifically.
Yeah.
few years too. I feel like it's had a good solid resurgence. The whole metal thing.
Well,
for sure.
metal is playing House of Blues, which
Yeah.
is a huge deal. When I was a kid, metal was not
Hell
going to House of Blues. I mean,
Hell no.
Slipknot I saw in a big venue, but not bands that come from like our world that are a little more underground. Slipknot was still on the radio,
Yeah.
so it has gotten bigger. I think.
I think
It's
it has
got-
too for sure.
I
mean,
think in the time or the age we live in, where people are like, it's easy to find an identity right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like it's before, even how you're saying like Aaron and I were heckling you on the bus.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like suicidal tendencies. You know what I mean? It's like that is off-putting to people now.
No,
And
like,
so
but the thing is, to me, I was like, this is tight. I'm like meeting people who
Exactly.
know about suicidal.
Yeah.
You know?
back then there's your connection.
Yeah.
But like now, if that were
Fuck
to happen,
that guy.
they're bullies.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
"Oh,
No, I didn't
don't
even-
know, those guys are mean, you know, and it's like it's more easily accessible, and I'm not saying that in a negative light at all. That's positive.
Yeah.
Because like in the bigger picture, we're all fucking weirdos and nerds and freaks anyways. So why
Yeah.
not like have strength in numbers,
Yeah.
essentially, and make that thing more accessible to the people who need it, who need that identity. Like
I agree. Yeah.
coming back into like a scene and seeing the reality that there like isn't posers anymore. That's not
Yeah.
that's not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Think
There-
about that.
That's
that's
true.
weird. I've
That's-
never.
I know,
thought
I
about that.
haven't-
fucking real, man.
Yeah.
Because by calling somebody out like that, you're alienating them. And that's like a big no-no
I know.
in our culture as in humanity now.
Yeah.
And so like to say like fuck you, you can't wear that shirt, it's like on one hand that's fucked up and you're isolating that person who is a weirdo just the same as you or me.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're also fucking over yourself or your band, whatever you're trying to do. Of like,
Right.
you know, you don't buy my shit. Don't support me. You know what I mean? Please don't do me any favors.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot.
And maybe that's just, I don't know if that's a product of being a little bit older or if it's like the times changing. I can't really tell because, yeah, like back in the day or whatever, it's like, dude, I'm not going to be famous doing this. Are you kidding me? Like, my mom always tells me like a funny story. Like when I was a kid, she would be like, when I first joined Animosity or something, she'd be like, oh, Navene, like, how are you guys going to like make money doing this? And I'm like, Mom, we're never going to make money doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
not gonna.
Are you kidding me? Of course not.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that?
Yeah. Like that was not an idea that was in my head at all.
Seriously.
To get paid to do.
No.
Not a,
To
because
be
it was just so weird. Like everything that we did was so weird. Going to the Pound or
Yep.
going to Gilman or like Burnt Ramen. Like these fucking venues where it's nobody's making money. It's
But
not about that.
To be honest with you, making money was so uncool to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I thought
Yeah.
the people
That
who
was
made
the
money were
reality.
sellouts.
Yeah.
I honestly, that's
There's no more sellouts either.
I
Along
mean,
with no
yeah.
more
And
posers.
you know, and that it all is like walking such a fine line of like, you can't even have an opinion then on that point or voice it, you know,
Yeah.
of like, because then you're put into that like, well, maybe we shouldn't deal with this person because they're kind of outspoken and, you know, won't go with the flow.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, fair enough, fuck them.
Maybe we should, yeah, fuck them. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Fucking poser disposers.
No posers allowed.
No fucking
It's
poser.
true though, like, and maybe that is getting older and like seeing it
Yeah.
for what it is and like the reality of perpetuating your creativity and your craft through the support of these posers,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote.
Well, we've
So-
sort of talked about that before at work, where it's like with image, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, before, you know, I wouldn't think of that. I would just be like, whatever, I'm just going to do whatever I want. But
Me too.
sometimes I'm coming to realize that people actually, I don't know if this is a modern thing, but they will hear your band differently depending on how you look.
Yeah.
Like,
everybody,
the music is actually perceived differently by what you're wearing. It's crazy, but it's true.
everybody
so true.
judges a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how many times that's engraved in your fucking brain, they're going to see spikes, blood, upside down crosses and automatically think satanic metal.
Yeah,
Every time.
Like if you were dressed like that, it doesn't even matter if you were playing literally like AC/DC, right? But reworked,
Yeah.
and you had that garb on, they'd be like, okay, this is a black metal band or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
But
They wouldn't even question
They
it.
would almost be like it's a genre bending black metal band.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they have the image but not the sound.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's a band like that they fucking rip. They're called Satan's Blade and they destroy. I think they're from San Jose. They're
Oh,
like
okay.
killer classic like new wave of British heavy metal sounding metal. And the singer legit looks like the first singer from AC/DC. It's like, what the fuck?
The guy who
Holy
died.
shit, yeah, Bon Scott. And, you know, like giant afro, rocking a leather vest, no shirt, ripped, you know, and you're like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
dude, this band rocks. But they're called Satan's Blade, and you're like, you know, what the fuck? You're riding that fine line of that genre bending thing because of your image
I know.
and your sound.
Yep.
It's just not something that I've ever like thought of or paid attention to. 'Cause
Yeah.
all I ever cared about was just the music side.
Totally.
I never really thought about it any other way.
Yeah.
You know.
It's almost refreshing though also on the flip side of that to see like a rad technical death metal band and it's like squares.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
holy
Well,
shit.
now that's
Yeah.
sort of the look.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing. If you're a tech death band, you're probably like kind of nerdy and you just like jeans and a whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I remember the first time that I saw BT Bam. I didn't expect them to be like
Okay, they were
nerdy sports.
Yeah,
They were that
clean-cut
first.
dudes.
I think
First
they were the
band
first like
in my-
nerd techie band because I listened to them, and those first couple of BT Bam albums, yeah, they were proggy, but they were fucking heavy at the same time. And
totally
I saw a video of them playing live in an outdoor like kids park or something, and I was just so baffled that they were nerds. And they had Dan Briggs plays his bass up high, in the Dorchestra straight up, and like it was just.
Dude,
it was crazy, yeah.
The Dorchestra.
The Dorchestra. But everyone played like that.
Navene, do you remember that band, Creation is Crucifixion?
Yeah, a little bit.
They were like kind of on the forefront of that crust tech death metal thing, and
they played at Laurel House, right?
Yeah, and they played Vets Hall.
Wait, is that the drummer from? Yeah, it's the drummer from Fall Out Boy.
That was Race Trader.
No.
Oh, he did play with Creation a couple of times. Andy.
Yeah, he's like that. That's I'm pretty sure he was in that band.
No, he probably was.
It's fucking crazy.
That fool.
Wow.
I got a funny story
about that guy.
Yeah.
You want to tell it?
Maybe.
All right. Well, you can think about it. But
no.
What were we saying?
So
yeah, they were more like around that time. You had people playing a certain type of music, but it was in a different like scene, and that's why it was considered like. For instance, if BT Bam had been like metal dudes, they would have never been accepted by hardcore.
Totally.
Because they played hardcore shows.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true.
And that's why. They were like wearing Pumas and stuff. So they were like, oh, it's a hardcore band. Like, oh, they're down. They know what's up. And I don't know. People care about that stuff.
They really do.
Why? I think, though.
They care. I don't know.
But I don't know.
In our youngness, in being in bands and like being self-aware of this exact thing that we're talking about, of like image and going against the grain with that and being like, it's not about image, it's about the music, and like living that in our everyday lives, saying like, we dress normal, you don't need to wear a band shirt to prove your identity because you're confident in the fact that,
and that's how I've always been. 100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have also felt the same way, give or take a band shirt here and there, but like
agree.
Same.
Then getting older, it's true, you know. Like,
well, it's funny, as I get older, I want to be more metal.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny.
And also like getting back to what you had brought up of like, we were talking about at work specifically of like not being ashamed or afraid or feeling like glued to whatever you're wearing on stage, or like presenting yourself as a band and like wearing the spikes, or, you know, having a mohawk or what have you know what I mean? It all becomes a part of the image of your creativity, of what your output is and what's attached to the vehicle itself.
Yeah, and I think for whatever reason that it's like that, you know. And I think I'm probably the same way. Like, if, for instance, with Between the Buried and Me, it's a really good example, because I remember when they came out, like when their first album came out, like I was already a fan of Prayer for Cleansing, like their band before that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, this is a metal band, but they're hardcore dudes.
Yeah.
So like, I'm so down, you know, just because I guess maybe part of the image thing is, you know, kind of where they came from a little bit more, maybe.
Or you feel related to that.
Exactly.
You feel the relation because that's who you are.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, these dudes probably are like me. Like, they're into hardcore and hardcore shows and shit, but they obviously know a lot about metal and stuff. And I was like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know? And I think I would definitely say BT Bam, like, paved the way in that respect for, like, bands like Animosity and stuff to be... like, we were a death metal band, but we played hardcore shows.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of crazy. I don't know. Crazy stuff.
I mean, all in all, though, in like the bigger picture, to perpetuate that, right? Like, even what you're saying, like, you're a death metal band playing hardcore shows, and those things in my mind are hand in hand, death metal and hardcore, even into punk. But then having to market it towards a bigger crowd of people who don't necessarily have that, like, kind of the mixed show in their town all the time. Like, their exposure is Warped Tour.
Right.
Or something like that. It's kind of trippy, but it's also like the gateway drug.
Agree.
Yeah.
You go
100%.
from BT Bam to Cannibal Corpse pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
true.
heard my timeline is completely screwed. Like it's weird. The order of bands that I got into. Because I liked Sepultura was the
spell
first
it out.
super
Spell it
hard band that I liked, straight up.
How did you hear Sepultura?
Okay, it's a funny story. I'll tell you. So I liked anything that I heard that was heavy. I liked it.
Yep.
So as a kid, so like.
You gravitated towards it.
Anything heavy, this is the sickest. So like the first heavy music I heard was, I guess, Green Day, you might want to say. I was like, Green Day, this
Dookie?
is fucking sick. Dookie,
Yeah.
right? I'm in elementary school.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then I heard like Rage Against the Machine. They were on MTV and stuff.
Yeah,
This is fucking awesome. Sick. And then, what did I hear after that? Like, 311. That was kind of
Oh,
heavy,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I got into 311 for
Like
sure.
not the album before Transistor. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, then they checked the box, type snare drum. I was like, this band rules. So I loved 311. They were sort of heavy,
Sure.
you know. And then fucking Andy, Music Animal.
Yeah.
So Andy he sold shit at the flea market. He sold me my first drum set.
Have you talked about him on here yet?
I
Probably.
think maybe a little because he's who you sold all of your band shirts to, right?
No. This is
Oh.
Andy
Let's
2.0.
just break off and maybe
Yeah,
just talk
let's
about
get-
Music Animal real
Dude,
quick.
Andy is legit.
Yeah.
Okay? He's like, I don't know where he's from. Like, he's Hispanic, so he's from a South American country or maybe Mexico. I don't know.
Latinx.
Yeah. So, but he's super into metal, and he's probably the reason why I'm into metal, to be honest.
So
Wow.
backstory. Andy ran a booth at the Capitola Flea Market forever, and sold,
He would sell metal
like,
shirts.
bootleg metal shirts from Mexico, like the embroidered ones or
Damn.
like glow in the dark ones, and
Sick
you know,
shit,
like,
dude.
That is dope.
So he would also sell like, you know, BC Rich guitar, like
Yeah.
anything metal, dude.
So this isn't the guy that I've met?
Have you met him at the flea market? You've
He's
met him
the
at the flea
metal
yeah.
guy at the flea
There was
market.
another guy came around, and that's who I sold the shirts to.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
anyway,
But I've met him.
And Andy got his money up at the flea market and got a store on Pacific Avenue downtown Santa Cruz called The Music Animal.
dude, how fucking sick
And-
is that? We used to have a metal store.
Yeah, it
dude,
was
on Pacific.
and like it was totally just bootleg shirts and stolen shit.
And
Wow.
cassettes, like he had
Cassettes up
fucking
the
all
ass.
these, you name it, dude. Like, it was back in the late
Yeah.
90s,
I
like
got
That's
my
amazing.
Napalm Death fucking videos and
yeah,
shit.
patches like you'd get. I still have like a bolt thrower patch from there that I
Damn.
got when I was like 15.
So we would
Wow.
just go chill in there, and our friend worked there.
Regression played there.
Yeah, we played there a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
Mark worked there, and so then it was like everything was free in there. I got my first Celtic Frost LP from there.
Wow.
2 Mega Theory on the gatefold.
So sick, dude.
Free
That's
from that motherfucker.
So,
So sick.
we had a fucking metal store, which you know what's funny? At the time, I didn't even stop to think like, there's a metal store in Santa Cruz. I was just like, oh yeah, of course, Music Animal.
It's
Yeah, that's
there.
pretty
Metal
unique.
store, duh. It was right across the street it was right by Zachary's, like right next door.
Yeah, you've shown me because I knew that it was where Regression had played a show before.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
my mom has like pictures.
There was
'cause my
like a
friend-
video of that, I remember, a VHS or
there
something.
was.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still around.
So anyway, so he had a lot of Sepultura gear,
Yeah.
right? Obviously.
Yeah. That was, a side story. That was the first place I heard Brujeria.
Yeah.
Was
Oh, wow.
at Music Animal.
Okay, so I went to a Brujeria show
yeah.
like maybe 5 years ago. And dude, he had a distro set up at the fucking show, dude.
Andy?
Yeah.
No shit.
I was like, holy shit,
Did
dude,
he
what's
have
up?
bootleg Brujeria shirts?
He had everything, dude. Maybe they hired him, I don't know.
that is so sick.
That's off the
I know.
That
And I
is
was like,
so
what are you doing
sick.
here? He's like, yeah, man, they let me have a booth here, man. I was like, sick.
fuck yes.
So he still sells at the flea market, by the way,
I believe
Mm-hmm.
because he got obviously
He's not in the location anymore.
the metal store in downtown Santa Cruz not gonna hold up very long.
I saw. I was in there once, and Mark was working. Our friend who worked there, and my cousin, right, is my my aunt's ex-husband's nephew or something, some weird closely associated, not blood relative, comes walking in there all fucked up, drugged out, and is like looking at this leather jacket, and like I'm like, oh, his name's Ben. I was like, Ben, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, hey man, somebody stole my leather jacket and they sold it to this asshole and he won't give it back to me. I'm trying to figure out how to steal it back. And it was, you know, chained up on the door and shit. It's like, that's Music Animal
That's
style.
what I'm talking about, dude.
Stolen car
Bring it back.
stereos
I'm
and
saying,
fucking metal shirts.
dude, bring back the grimy.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it.
That's
Fuck.
So, anyway, okay, I gotta go on another one here. So, Andy always had Sepultura shirts. And I remember seeing Chaos AD on a shirt, and I was like, that's a fucking badass cover. I was 12.
The
by
dude
the way.
all wrapped up in the fucking
Yeah.
mummy in between the machine.
So, we bought my first drum set from him when I was 10
Yeah.
at the flea market. That's how I started playing drums. We got the drum set from him.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. And my mom is like an antique person.
yeah.
And-
I mean, you have history at the flea market.
Yeah, so my mom's,
That's why you're
that's
there.
what she did,
Yeah.
sold, buy and resell
She still does.
It
stuff.
upholsters.
The
all
junk business, we
Mm-hmm.
call it. And Andy's up in there because he's looking for all the metal shit.
Yep.
So she knows him pretty well, you know, and she's like, yeah, he always says that he tries to take credit for you and all this stuff, you know, and she gets mad at him. You know, she tells me.
She still
They've got-
says that all the
they've got-
time.
Like every
She
time I
still
see him,
talks about
he
Andy.
tries to say that, you know, he taught you how to play drums, and that's not true. You know?
Yeah, she pisses her off.
Bastard.
Yeah. So it's kind of true though. I mean, he's had a hand in it. So Warehouse Music, remember that place?
Ooh, yeah. I can't forget Warehouse
Okay.
Music. I'll tell
You
you
could
why.
take
Where
a
was
CD.
Warehouse Music?
Okay, it was Urban Outfitters.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That was a fucking huge CD store, and you could take
Wow.
any CD in the store and bring it up to in the center, and they would open it up and let you listen to it.
Damn. That is sick.
So
Yeah.
what did I do? I went and grabbed the Sepultura CD because I was like, I heard about this band from Andy.
I've seen this.
I fucking was like, I want to listen to this, please. And I sat there with the headphones. I remember how those headphones sound too. I like totally remember it. And I listened to Sepultura KSAD there, and I was like, this is it.
Those listening
was like, I'm
stations
listening-
were legit.
I
Yeah.
thought that I was listening to the most brutal death metal. Like,
Ever.
they're not even a death metal band, really. But like, I was just, that's it. I've reached the heaviest, most sick music that you can get. I'm in.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And so I was 12, and that was the first super heavy band that I ever listened to. Before death metal or new metal or hardcore or anything, it was Sepultura.
Yeah. That's fucking sick.
I know.
That is sick.
It's super sick.
I
I'm lucky.
legit I was thinking about this on the way down and like talking about those early influences, and legit the first band that came to mind for me was Sepultura.
Yeah.
And it was because
Wow.
I heard it from my dad. And like
Your dad's a metalhead?
yeah,
Chaos AD or before that?
Chaos AD and
Wow.
like Roots.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Hindsight, Roots sucks. Chaos AD rules.
Yeah.
Arise is dope.
I mean, I'd say full discography up to Chaos AD.
Yeah.
And then
I shouldn't say
the
it
rest.
sucks, but,
It it is what it is. It has a time and
because
a
I
place.
like true metal people will be like Chaos AD sucks.
Yep.
Because I also have I got another guy up my sleeve. Before the hardcore dudes, my dad has a friend, another Hare Krishna guy, who's ultra metal. It's really random. You know that guy Vid? Did you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
meet him
Vid is
back in the day?
super metal.
No.
The palm reader guy?
No.
Okay.
No. I would remember that.
You never met him?
No.
God, he was always at my dad's house.
Fuck.
He's like a short dude. He's
I
like,
would remember that fucking.
But he knows a lot about metal. You would remember
He's
that. He's
ultra
like
metal.
super into metal. Knows about underground shit.
So he was like, "Oh, Navene, you like Sepultura? You know, you're into metal." And I was like, "Yeah, man, for sure." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to a show tomorrow. You want to know what the show was? Death and Hammerfall."
Whoa.
That
Yeah.
is insane.
So that was my first metal show. I was 12.
No shit.
What?
That was like a good era.
I
for
didn't know that
metal,
at all.
dude.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, Death? Okay, I'll check it out."
Mid 90s metal.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
that
Oh,
is so
shit.
sick.
That's my trump card.
Like,
Legit metalhead. I was at fucking Death and
that's
Hammerfall
amazing.
in like 98.
Sometimes I feel like a poser because I got into metal through new metal. That was like my first introduction.
Dude, a lot of people did. I mean,
there's an outlet.
There totally is. I mean,
you needed something to get you.
That's sick, though.
I
That's
still
a
got
sick
into,
entry
to new metal. I still got into it.
That's surprising to me because it seems like a lot of people who are a little older than me, just new metal didn't work for them.
I think people my age, it's like some got into it.
I didn't even fuck with Slipknot.
At all.
Couldn't go there.
If being from Iowa, it's like the epicenter of new metal.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid.
Fuck yeah, and all of our local bands were new metal bands, and I started going to local shows really early, like when I was 12 probably.
Yeah.
7th or 8th grade, and that was the shit that I was being introduced to by my friends, new metal.
I mean, I remember fucking the Catalyst having free Papa Roach shows. And
I totally remember that. Chase went to that.
Is Papa Roach from here?
They're from like Sacramento.
They're from Vacaville.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, Chase went to that show, and it was a promo show for the album, the big one.
Yeah, they had like 2 or 3 in.
And he had all this Papa Roach swag.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were probably maybe they just signed to a label and like he was like, dude, this band
it was
is
that
pretty
album, the white album
that
with
had
the
Last Resort on it.
Yeah. And he was like, I went to this free show at the Catalyst. I didn't go. And he was like, I went to this free show at the Catalyst. It's this band Papa Roach. They gave away a bunch of shit. So he had all these posters and like
shirts.
Yeah,
I had all that swag.
Oh, really?
Too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just took
Street
it to,
team
like,
status.
Draw on and do dumb shit with,
I went to one of those that was a
real.
Stone Sour show.
Yeah.
That was a free Stone Sour show in Des Moines, and they like threw out all their pics and everything after the show was over. But Stone Sour was not a well-known band then.
So yeah, I mean that was my.
I don't ever.
Like I said, my timeline of metal music is weird.
I don't ever think about that aspect of like the exposure because my dad was like a metalhead and had metal records in his collection that I had access to.
Yeah, totally.
Like I could listen to that. My mom, on the flip side of that coin, was like into punk and had punk and like ska records at home that I could listen to, and so it was like kind of born into it.
Totally, that's a unique
weirdo way. But then like within all of that whole scene, like my mom was mentally ill off of drugs, and my dad probably is, but was then like an active sketchball drug dealer.
Oh wow!
So like it's rad, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's like a double-edged sword.
Thanks for the fucking alternate upbringing.
Totally. Well, how old were you when you became like aware that your parents or that your mom had a mental disorder or a mental illness?
I don't know, probably like 14, 15.
Yeah. But before that, it's just like, wow, my parents are weird. Like,
yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like, it was cool. Always like being able to bring music to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw this band, check this out. And like,
totally.
Learning about bands from my mom or from my dad, or like my mom gave me like all of her old t-shirt collection when I was probably like 13.
That's probably crazy.
Damn.
And it was like original Cramps shirts and Germs shirts and like shit. If I had it now, I could probably buy a fucking house with it.
Yeah,
I know.
I bet.
They're all long gone. And then like my dad just having like Metallica and Megadeth fucking
one of those shirts I'll probably buy you a house, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Sean found a fucking Metallica shirt at the bargain barn and sold it on eBay for like a couple $100.
No shit.
Holy shit.
Blue grape.
Yeah.
Blue grape, baby.
But yeah, so where were we going with this?
I don't know, just talking.
Oh, about metal influence. So like my the first show I remember going to, I like saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers with my mom at the Loudon Nelson Center.
What?
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
It was trippy.
Where is that?
Okay, that's like if we're trying to find a place to park by Zachary's and you go back towards that little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how there's like a park and some like basketball courts?
Totally.
That's Loudon Nelson Center.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Red
was
Hot Chili Peppers there. That's
early Peppers. Like
That's
this is
Holy
fucking
shit.
sick.
late 80s.
That's insane.
And then like my mom took me to see Rage Against the Machine opened up for Public Enemy at the Catalyst. And I was like a kid. Like
Damn.
That's a
real
damn
little
shame
kid.
that you didn't hit the merch table.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Talk about some
The concert
retirement shit.
memorabilia.
And then like AC/DC with my dad at the Shark Tank when I was like 12. It was like the loudest fucking concert still to date I've ever been to.
Because
Wow.
your ears were fresher.
Dude, they
was-
rang for like 3 weeks
Yeah.
afterwards. And it was sick. Like they played for 2 hours and killed it. And Megadeth and Seven Dust
I've seen Seven
At-
Dust.
the Santa Cruz Civic when I was like 13.
That's
Wow.
sick.
That was a
Yeah.
fucking ripper because no one was there.
Oh,
Like
really?
Dave Mustaine was talking active shit to the crowd because there wasn't enough people there.
Damn.
Makes sense.
And like, you poor motherfucker, like ruthlessly talking shit.
Fuck yeah.
You guys can't afford to buy a fucking ticket. Someone threw a bottle at him. It hit him in the head.
Well, because
and
at that
he started,
time, that
talking
was like
shit about his hair.
That was like blow up of Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Santa Cruz used to be a lot more poor of a place, you know, like
And yet,
Everyone here-
still like insanely expensive.
yeah. But I mean, everybody here you were either kind of poor like us, or like your family owned Martinelli's
Yes.
sparkling. You know what I mean? There
Or
was like
Odwalla,
there was like these big families, and then everyone else was poor. That was like that's how it was for me, like growing up,
straight up,
Yeah.
going to elementary school
straight
and stuff. It's like
fucking up.
you know, there was like a couple kids who their parents owned some sort of
Owned Skateworks.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, NHS. And then, you know, all the rest of us just like poor kids who went to fucking grew up at Bargain Barn, flea market.
Look at us now.
I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
I like
I
all that
wouldn't
stuff.
trade it for the
Fuck
fucking
no.
world, man.
Fuck
Yeah.
no, dude. I like the feeling of I don't know, like it just made me who I am. You know?
Exactly.
Well,
Or
absolutely.
like always looking out for stuff. Like I've noticed that like with you, like I'm always like looking for stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'll find money.
Oh yeah.
I'll find money or like weird shit because you're kind of like looking
Yeah.
for something to get.
It's a little
you know
more
what I mean?
scavenger
Yeah,
type.
like-
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I'll find crazy shit because I'll be driving around and like that chair that you're sitting
or
on.
my
Yeah.
desk.
Okay.
My desk, which is really fucking nice.
Okay, so this fucking nice desk, that chair, dude, that fucking chair. I was driving around the city when I used to live there.
Yeah.
So this is like 15 years ago, and it's like I see a chair sticking out of a dumpster, and I'm just like, stop the car. I look in there, and there's two of those, and they're just missing a couple wheels.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck yeah, and I take them out of the dumpster, and then I had a friend who delivered chairs, and he was like, yeah, just knock the base off and get another base. Like you can just hit it off with a mallet. So I did that, and then I went to fucking Goodwill. I got two $5 chairs, took the bases off, put them on there, brand new sick chairs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But dude, that thing is super
It's
old.
ergonomic. You know.
Yeah, so I had a
It's a
pair
nice
of them,
chair.
but just shit like that. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
I think
totally.
that comes from being like a little bit more of like a. Just I don't know how to explain it. It's just
I
growing up
can-
at the flea market and
yeah,
the bargain
No,
barn.
you're
and
totally like that because there are a lot of
I'm
things.
like creeping.
Because
you know?
I come from a family where like my
looking for a come up.
my grandma is very like into that type of thing. The scavenger. She still
love
goes to
it.
Well,
Goodwill
it's
all
like
the time.
Reuse aspect, like this
Yeah.
isn't trash.
I know.
You know
But
what I
my
mean?
mom isn't like that, which is fine, you know, but she likes to buy new stuff.
Yeah.
And because of that, there are a lot of things that I just didn't even think of until Navene and I were together. Oh, you can actually just fix that and use it forever. Like there are just things
A
like
wild
that I would
concept.
just buy a new
Exactly.
Yeah.
version
and that's
of.
what I started noticing about myself, like when we were together and stuff. It's like I'll take shit out of the trash, or like I don't know, just
Yeah.
do weird
This
stuff.
is
like,
perfectly
Yeah.
good. There's only one hole in this
but
sock.
the thing
But-
is, that was like a Santa Cruz thing. You know, like that's how people were here.
Or
I think
even
that
like growing up without like a whole lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And having to make do with what you have, and like
It's
if
better.
something's broke, you're just like it's broke until you fix it.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, I think that there are parts of that, like what both of us bring in that world that I like new, like
Yeah.
things to be fancy and
Definitely.
shiny and new, and that you like, or that you can like put shit together,
Definitely.
or that
Definitely.
you know, you can like take old things and make it new. I think that both of us working together on that, like when it comes to something like the van, where
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
very concerned with it being like looking good and looking
Yeah.
like it was done professionally, and I think that that's like
I know.
helped us both out, because
I agree.
now
It's a
I'm
good
seeing
dynamic.
It is.
exactly.
It
It's
is.
like the dichotomy of looking at things in a different way, and
Yeah.
it's helped us out a lot.
Because if I'm
and-
like left to my own devices, it's like me in like a cold room with like you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's
yeah.
just weird. It
but
gets weird.
I'll turn the heat on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Oh, I'm just picturing
It's
you
true.
holding a pair of drumsticks.
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
just weird.
freezing. Yeah.
So, it's better to have someone who's not.
Who's got your back? Oh yeah, that's a great segue.
Yeah, there we go.
into couples that create together.
Yeah.
Ah,
You guys, look
Yeah.
at you over
it's a
there.
good time.
Yeah, you too.
Love it.
It's always interesting to me to see when people, like, two people don't create.
Yeah.
It's a weird dynamic, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but when one person is a super creative person and the other person isn't, it makes a different dynamic than when both people are like creative and involved in
Yeah, it's so
things
cool,
in
man.
that way.
It's kind of trippy, like to me, looking at it in the bigger picture of like, you know, woman seeking man, man seeking woman, like, and the being able to survive together, and I don't mean like survive an apocalypse, but survive each other, and
Yeah.
like working around each other's intricacies or personalities, essentially. And that becomes an individual's like goal in life is finding that mate.
Yeah.
Right.
Essentially,
Absolutely.
it's human nature. You're driven to do it. And then trying to figure out at that point, like, oh, I'm attracted to this person, but am I attracted to their personality? And then finding out, no, I'm not. Going through the sequence of events to try and find that person, and really what you're looking for is somebody that can support you as a creative person, and also like wanting to see the same thing that you can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And like you guys
Yep.
obviously have that, and Theos is your baby in
Yeah.
that aspect. And so like,
But it shows up in more ways than that, like what you're saying. You know?
Yeah.
When you have that sort of a relationship with your spouse,
your
you know? 'Cause
significant
it's
other,
gonna
yeah,
push you in other ways. Like for instance, the podcast.
right?
I would have never done a podcast. I would have thought about it when I drank too much coffee one day. How sick would that be to do a podcast? But Chaney's like, we have to do it. We
Yeah.
have to do it. We have to do it. And it's cool to have somebody that actually pushes you. You
Yeah.
know? Like that's amazing.
Influences you, you know, or however you want to phrase it, your muse. You guys muse off of each other.
Exactly.
And it like it took me a long time to realize like that was what I have, you know, to break down what I had just said, essentially, of like this is what the end all be all is, and looking for a partner is that, essentially, of like,
Yeah.
you know, another creative type or somebody to help like you make those decisions, like does this sound good? Like,
I know.
Yeah.
yeah,
I know.
this does sound good.
Because
All
you're
right,
gonna
killer.
be
Thank
around
you.
that person like all the time.
Anyway,
So if they have the same, not even the same, but some type of passion in line with yours, or an understanding of yours at least,
yeah.
I mean that's amazing.
I
Yeah.
mean, the
Yeah.
understanding's like the kickoff point.
Yeah.
And
And then however much
Right.
over that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I feel like a lot of people look down on the idea of being best friends with your partner, which has been really strange to me being with Navene, because Navene is legitimately my best friend. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah,
We do everything together. We like riff off of each other, and to like glorify the idea that that's not how it should be is very strange. I have other best friends.
Right.
I have my best friend that I grew up with, but Navene and I have such a different relationship, like a far more intimate relationship than anyone
Right.
else. Of course, we're together all the time. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be best friends with the person that you're planning on being with for the rest of your life, and why you wouldn't want that kind of relationship.
Totally.
But
yeah, so
it's all trial and error, you know.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah, it totally is.
So Nick is also an artist, graffiti artist, I guess we could say. Street artist.
When
maybe.
did you start doing graffiti?
Probably like 11 or 12. Like, it all was happening, like, along with getting into the punk scene and, like, doing art and realizing, you know, like, that was before I even picked up an instrument, really. Outside of, like, maybe playing piano at school when they still had school music programs.
So you, like, drew your entire life until that point?
Cool. Always, like, my aunt was an artist, basically. Or we talked about this the other day of, like, Santa Cruz holding, like, weird creative types. Yeah. And so, like, my aunt came to Santa Cruz to go to UCSC to do her master's in fine arts or something, and my family followed, etc.
There's always one person who spearheads their way to Santa Cruz, and then it's like, all right, we're going too.
It's a lot of wayward types that came to Santa Cruz.
It really is, man.
And so there was always, like, art in the family, you know. We were low income, but it was like, you know, music and drawing, going to museums, that kind of thing. And then
well, I think that's sort of the reason why there's a lot of, like, lower income or whatever you want to call it. Like, for me, my mom was always like, well, I want to do she's a seamstress, and she's, like, a really creative
that's her artistry.
Exactly. And she's like, you know what, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to, it's not right for her to do a 9-to-5 job. Like, she's not that type of person.
She's not built for it.
Yeah, she has to be super creative and do her thing, and I feel like I can relate to her a lot in that way. She's like, I don't even care if I'm going to be poor because I want to do my creative stuff and be with my kids, you know. And that's and I think that's awesome.
That's what drives her.
Of course.
Exactly, and that's what I prefer. I prefer that, and, you know, I think it's a great way to
Isn't that what being an artist is? It's doing anything for the art. You know that you're meant to create. Like, I don't care if I would live in our van and create music, and I'm sure you guys can relate on that. And it's like, I don't, when you're an artist, you don't give a fuck about that type of thing.
You just measure, like, success or all that differently. You know? I don't measure, like, my success on money. You know, I really don't.
At all.
I never.
Nor should you have to.
And I wasn't, like, really brought up to think that way. I think that's...
Well, yeah. So within that realm of, like, growing up around the art mentality, the creative mentality, is always something, not the graffiti aspect, but, like, doodle, drawing, painting, you know, like, it's occupies the child and also helps the child create an identity.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
and it's sort of like metal in the way that it's the art is a scene. You know, it's kind of a identity type thing.
I was always, like, just writing on walls, whatever, just doodling around, like, coming up with a funny little punk moniker and drawing characters and breaking into abandoned buildings to, you know, just explore around, see what happens. There's one in Capitola.
Rispin, yeah.
And it was like...
Have I taken you in there?
We haven't been inside of it, but it's still there.
The only time I broke in was with you.
Creeped out.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a creepy looking building.
I had been breaking in there since I was probably like 10.
Well,
it's like right there.
Doodling on the walls and fucking around, and, like, you'd always hear, you know, there was fucking cat sacrifices and satanic meetings in this spot. You'd walk into a room and there would legit be, like, blood smeared on the wall or something, and you're just like, oh yeah, it fucking went down in here.
Do you think any of that graffiti that you did back in the day is still there?
I don't know. It might be.
We should go break into it.
It might be, or it might just be totally destroyed at this point.
Yeah, it might be painted over. It's the windows are boarded up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There used to be a couple little ways in, but I remember the basement being, like, totally flooded, and, like, it was all set up on like pylons,
Yeah.
Mm.
and it always looked like somebody was perpetually trying to burn it down.
Well,
Like different parts were like catching on fire.
I
You
bet
know,
it was
like
just bums and they're just trying to sleep and make
Yeah.
a fire,
fuck
keep
it.
warm or whatever.
yeah.
Just
Place is crazy.
it was a fucking creep show. But yeah, and then, you know, Santa Cruz being the place that it is, a creative place.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of weird artists around who are also writing on walls, and it's hard to miss, essentially. And within the birds of a feather kind of thing, you just are naturally gravitate towards the same people
Yeah.
in school or whatever, and all of a sudden you're clicked up.
Yeah. And so you got pulled into like the actual graffiti world by people that you went to school with. Is that?
Yeah, actually, like the dude that we were talking about who worked at Music Animal, Mark,
Mm-hmm.
I went to like the Arc, which was a
He was like way older than us, though,
he
right?
was like 3 or 4 years older.
I remember hearing how old he was and being like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he seemed young. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was like 23 or
Right.
something like that.
He
Yeah.
can buy his beer.
Yeah.
He was like kind of just some graffiti dude, and we went to high school. There's this dude, John. He wrote Mink. Mark wrote Cool. Kew.
Damn, laying it out.
I mean, what the fuck? Really blowing up people's spots right
Yeah,
now.
I know. What did you write? Are you willing to?
At that time, fuck, I think I wrote Rough, RUF, and then
Old school.
graduated to Solo. Soy was in there to represent my vegan lifestyle.
Yeah. We were vegan back in the day.
Oh yeah, you were vegan
with
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
How many years?
7.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time.
It's probably
man.
about. I was probably
A
about.
few more on vegetarian as well.
Yeah.
Tacked in.
I've
there.
actually, since we were vegan, I've been vegan for a couple of years in total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like generally try and eat pretty dairy and meat free,
Yeah.
but
For me, it depends on like the point of my life I'm going through.
sure.
I mean, I was vegetarian for a couple of years and then vegan for a year.
Yeah.
But then I got super into like the gym and eating a ton of protein and that shit. So it just depends, you know.
That's what, like, chicken. I love
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah.
It's just
chicken
hard
is
for me to
good.
not eat chicken.
And to have a good burg.
Yeah, I mean, burgers are bomb. But the thing is,
So
we were kind of talking about this the other day too. I feel like I can do any diet easily, like
can-
at the drop of a hat. Tomorrow, if we made a bet right now to go vegan for the next month, tomorrow I'm vegan and it's the
Easy.
easiest shit
Easy.
of all time.
No problem.
Yeah.
I got a million things I could eat and make. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Immediately. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So.
But I was
Yeah.
brought that up because you were
Graffiti.
saying that's how you met your current girlfriend. It was
yeah,
through art.
my lady through art and like having.
That commonality.
Yeah, and she kind of like opened my eyes up to even like I had never really looked at music being a creative outlet. I had always looked at it as just something like
It's just
me
like
and my
getting
friends
food.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like
I totally agree.
and then maybe that's in a weird way being humble or
But the thing is, I'm like not humble. You know, because people will tell me that I'm humble.
Are you sure?
And I don't think that I'm humble.
you are.
No, I don't.
I know.
See, like what you're saying. You're saying I see you as humble, but I don't. I'm just like,
You are humble.
it's the same way. It's like, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not humble. That's just what I do.
There's no need to brag up on
Yeah.
it.
I mean, what am I going to brag about?
I'll just say right now. The other day when you dropped the machine head thing, it was like, oh yeah, nothing to brag about here, fuck face, you fucking weirdo.
I don't, but the thing... Yeah. I don't know.
You know already. I mean, it's like...
I don't know.
It's
'Cause
just
'cause I won't-
something that you do.
Yeah, but I'll say at the same time, I'll be like, you know, oh, I just made a new riff. It's way sick. I'm sick with riffs. You know, I'll say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I won't say...
But it's almost with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You
I
know
won't
it.
say like, oh, I'm so badass because I played on the new machine head.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to
I
experience.
just don't want to do... I don't have that in me.
You have
say
to experience the people who are actually like that, because you would think that no one in in our world in fucking metal is like, yeah, dude, I'm the shit. I just did this. But there are people out there who just
like,
fucking talk about themselves constantly.
Killer set. You're like,
See,
I know.
Yeah, dude.
I never got off on that. Like, I got off on trying to be really good.
Yeah.
I didn't get off on being like famous or like whatever.
Right.
Obviously, because
It's not needing that crowd validation.
yeah, it's good. I like it. I like when people like me.
Yeah.
But I don't like.
One
It's like a Michael Scott. I need to be loved. But I don't have to be loved.
Yeah.
One thing.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like I love to be loved. I need to be loved. But you know, it's not like I have to. Something like that. I'm misquoting it. But.
It makes sense. It's pertinent. So I don't know. Yeah, like having another type, a creative type in my life to help open my eyes, maybe to like not have to be so humble all the time and see the things that like my output as creativity or these sorts of things where it's like I never fucking ever thought about it and couldn't even to the point of like somebody being like, you need to learn how to take a compliment.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? The fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm the shit. Like you're saying.
Yeah.
You know? Like I know I'm good. Like
yeah.
what the
But
fuck?
I don't know how to explain it. But
I don't, you know, like when people come up to you guys at the end of a show and they're like, fucking Entheos changed my life.
I'm like,
you know, and you're like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's weird.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what? How do you deal with that? Like, let me sit down with you and tell you how like you as a fan have changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, you got an hour?
Yeah.
I'm sure they would, you know, but at the same time to do that on a grand scale, you know, it's like fucking it's hard. It's difficult to hear that praise over and over again.
Yeah.
And to be able to just say thank you.
Yeah.
Like that's something I've never been able to do until I had
agree.
somebody pull my card on it and be like, just say thanks. It's like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Difficulties.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, it was 2 hours, 10 minutes deep before the technical difficulties, so I'm not too worried about it. But I think before the computer crashes again, why don't we just maybe wrap it up?
Yeah, to be continued.
Oh, shit.
Welcome back.
I know, you might be a fixture on here, huh?
I'll fucking see you later,
Oh, are you rolling us out? Damn, that's a bummer. Why?
I don't have to.
Let's chill for a little bit longer.
Yeah, hey. Well,
All right, let's chill.
till
Keep
the
it
fucking
going.
wheels fall off. Right?
You should keep that part though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's live.
This is 4.0, baby.
We're back!
Well, the reason that we were gonna roll out is because the computer fucking keeps
This
shutting
goddamn
down when we're
Apple
trying to
product.
chill.
All right, well,
and
maybe
talk.
You know,
if it does crash again,
Then we're
I'll
out.
just use that outro.
On one hand, these killer headphones from Direct Sound
Yeah.
have not failed us.
Not at all, and our voices are sounding as crispy as ever.
This fucking Apple
Yeah.
product.
But
on
we
the other
need
hand.
a beer sponsor.
Yeah.
We need a whiskey sponsor.
Where's the beer sponsorship? Nina actually
What
yesterday
the fuck?
got commissioned to do some art for a beer label.
What?
Which one?
I don't know. They're at a
Maybe I
San
should
Jose?
solicit
I don't
some fucking companies.
yeah. The drummer in Astral Butcher, he plays drums in a band called Lecherous Gaze, and they have their own beer through Ghost Town Brewing.
I don't know it.
It's some Oakland joint.
Yeah.
But Chaney, remember we posted a podcast like on New Year's, and we went to that place downtown.
What's the name of it? Fuck.
See,
Lupolo.
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 So we went to Lupolo,
That
and
really
we
rolls
didn't
off the
even
tongue.
we had said it deep in the podcast. We went to Lupolo,
Yeah.
and then they commented.
Oh.
So somebody from Lupolo watched the entire episode.
Some
So is
mysterious
that like
person.
a hashtag Santa Cruz podcast?
We didn't put
thing?
No, we
hashtag.
don't do that. And they
had
commented.
to have listened to it. 'Cause
They,
we-
they commented on our Instagram as well.
That's a ton.
so they
So,
had
I
to
mean,
have
yeah.
watched the whole thing. So Lupolo, if you're looking, technical diff. Right there.
Version 3.0.
We're back. We're back, though.
3.0. We've had snacks. We took a piss.
Maybe we should just start doing that with the podcast. Just stop and go do
Taking
something
breaks.
else and come back.
Like, all right.
Why not?
Anyway, I'm not sure what happened there, but
Meanwhile, back on the farm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Here we are.
What were we talking about before we wrap?
So we were talking about.
Barely remember.
I think we were talking about your history in graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about being humble.
Humble and...
Right.
Humble pie.
Yeah. Still tied into partnerships.
Yeah.
There you go.
Creative partnerships. Feeding off of each other. Musing each other. So, yeah.
It's fun.
Shout out to Graffiti Camp for Girls.
There you go.
Yeah.
Check them out.
That's what she does, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you guys met? Through?
No, we met at church.
Really?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I believe anything.
No.
I was like, huh.
I don't
okay.
even want
I
to
was like, well, you never know.
admit. That's what we tell people.
Mm-hmm.
We met on Tinder.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Damn.
is that a thing? Like, people are embarrassed to tell.
I guess in like this day and age, we met on the internet.
What? It seems like a lot of people meet that way.
I guess so. So it's not that embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just the modern way to meet.
But like no fucking credit given to
Tinder. Yeah,
They're
fuck
not
them.
a matchmaker, and I don't
Yeah.
advise anybody to use that app. It's rife with shitty people.
I met
have
Chaney at the real Tinder, a bar.
Yeah, there you go. IRL.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, so have you met a lot of people off of Tinder?
I don't know.
Nope. First one that.
First,
No.
last, and always. I've been on a few, like, more than a few horrific dates.
Damn.
Off of Tinder and Bumble.
Damn.
Yeah.
My friend, I've witnessed a Tinder date in real life, and my friend met a guy at a bar that we were at. We were all hanging out, and she was just
Martina.
chilling with him, but it was very weird. It was weird to watch their interactions. So I have to imagine that a lot of the interactions off of Tinder are kind of like that. You don't always meet your soulmate, you know?
No,
Obviously not.
And, like, it's, I mean, like, after I got involved with it and was kind of like, oh, this is cool. You know, I've been in a relationship for almost 9 years, and like it makes it kind of easy. Like, I'm sober, so I don't go to bars really unless there's a show.
Right.
And like being the sober guy at the bar, you're kind of a
Sucks.
pariah. You know what I mean? Like, why are you here, fucking invader? You're not
Well, like
drinking.
drunk people suck,
Yeah.
and then if you're not drunk, they really suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that big of an issue with it.
I-
Like, sometimes
I
it's
fucking do.
annoying, but I also like sitting back and like watching people make mistakes. It's funny. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, it depends on the drunk person, I think. If they're invasive to you, then it is
Yeah,
annoying.
it's
But if you're
annoying as
just
hell.
an outsider observing, it's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
But then you're also the fucking creep, sober creep, just lurking in the corner of the bar. So, yeah, the alternate was internet dating, and, you know, going through a couple funny, like I met this gal in Tahoe, and she was like this internet personality for like making jewelry. And you're like, who cares? Why? You know? And it, you know, just her whole general being and attitude is very,
Internet based.
yeah,
Yeah, was she a real person IRL?
kind of. I don't know. She had like kids and was in this funny open relationship with her husband that
No.
lived,
Whoa.
you know, and it's like no. So then no, it's like you're not a real person. You're just like living this funny life.
That's insane.
It's very real, you know.
Did
She's
you-
real.
Did you date her more than one time?
No,
Okay.
Negative.
it didn't go beyond a date. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of
Yeah.
where it's like, fuck, it's weird. It's
Then you got lucky.
Yeah.
let's see what happens. The future is bright,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
very
good.
virus
stuff.
permitting.
Oh, right.
But so yeah, like she does her art thing, and it's nice to have like somebody to bounce ideas off of as far as like album artwork, or like she also plays music and, you know, like riffing around, and, you know, she is into the fact that I will like pick up a guitar and fucking sit there and like, this is a riff I'm trying to work out, and she can like see it and play along with it, and we can like try and write something together, you know what I mean? And like, oh yeah, you know, she helped me out with this, thank you.
Absolutely.
Definitely enhances creativity.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or also like picks up where you lack.
Yep.
Also too, like she is a Photoshop genius, and so like, you know, it helps. Like I am somewhat of a technotard, if that's still a couth word to use, but like I don't
caveman.
Yeah. I can use computers, but not on her skill level, you know? So it's like drawing something, illustrating something, and then she's like, oh, I can clean this up and vector it and make it ready.
Yeah, same here.
What?
Like Chaney does.
Yeah.
All the stuff that I don't, for sure.
It you know, and it had been something foreign in my life. And,
yeah.
You know, that's where I kind of am like finding that person, what you've been looking for, the muse or the person that you respect as well on a creative level, to drive you and inspire you and help you, you know, further yourself as a person.
Absolutely.
Along the line.
It makes a huge difference. It's also just a thing to be with someone who respects that, okay, there might be 10 hours in a day where I want to be away from you, like shut off in a room doing my own thing and like working on my own project.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's the mutual respect of knowing that the other person has things that they want to do that don't really involve you, and just being able to leave them alone and do your own thing at the same time is a huge, there are a lot of good.
The hobby thing though, I think within a relationship, like I can't tell you how many weird relationships I've been in where the other person didn't have a hobby, like you are their hobby, essentially, or like that they're like they don't have that drive to go have their alone time, you know what I mean, to do their creative thing. And it's kind of like, you know, that is a huge factor in partnerships, is being able to be together and be okay, and be separate and be okay, and be two existing entities on your own, and not having one of your personalities be completely developed around the other person's personality and interests. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
And it's amazing to be in a relationship like that, because it's fruitful, and you get into a lot of shit that you just, and a lot of creative experiences that you just wouldn't have with a partner not like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the making things together is one of the coolest experiences, because that in itself is an intimate bond. And to do that and respect each other enough.
That was exactly like the reference behind Entheos being your guys' baby,
absolutely,
so to speak, of like you created it together. You're watching it mature, you know, and also the direct influence behind it, you know, it's your output.
And it's cool with that life, like, you know, most everybody has to they sort of have their like love life and everything separate from their band, and they go on tour and do that and then come out, and it's like for us it's all one thing. So it's like
that love train don't
stop.
It's
baby. Crazy, man. It's cool.
It's
like,
very cool.
We get to go travel together, like we did that Europe thing, and it was just, I don't know. So I always think like, wow, I'm really lucky, you know.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
It's also something though within the band that we've always had to be aware that the other people in our band don't get to do that.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
and then they have this side band called Desert Sessions, where they basically
it
was on Anthony Bourdain.
That's on Anthony Bourdain. The fucking desert set. I want to go there.
They go to Joshua Tree and just do a bunch of drugs and record.
So yeah, it's not actually I don't know. It's like near there, but like some small little town. It's right by like Indio.
Okay.
Oh, maybe
like fucking Palm Springs.
Yeah,
dude. I love it there.
Palmdale.
Dude, yeah, Palm Springs is sick.
If I could,
Trying to go there. That's been my whole motivation behind making Cocoa Bola.
if I could, I would build a like homestead out in the desert.
I love it out there. It's sick. All right, well, hey, we should probably do a proper goodbye before this thing crashes again.
Bullshit technology.
Anyway, if any of you guys are still left,
Yeah, if you've watched the whole thing, we're gonna do another episode with Nick for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about more music shit and
he
less
passed
bullshit.
the interview. This was an interview to see if we could have him again.
You're hired.
I'll be
You're
back.
hired.
I know the right people.
But we're wondering if any
listening,
burrito
y'all.
shops are open. So
We're gonna go to El Gordo's.
Yeah, we're hungry.
We're gonna eat till we fucking die.
Fuck yeah.
we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good week. Much love, y'all.